Hey, 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 divas. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Please let me know if you can hear me before I start my spiel to make sure you can hear me. There's no static and I am loud and clear. Hey to my mods, my sis, chit chat with QT. Hey, sis. And my diva, my sis, Teresa Wright. Hey, sis. Thanks for being here. Thanks for modding for me. I appreciate you. Okay. Teresa put a one in the chat. Hold on one second. Let me get my screen situated. 1 second. Okay. Happy Tuesday. Hello, and welcome to Pink Table Topics. I am your host and good sis, Pink Diva. Thank you so much for joining me. As you're pulling your seat up to the table, please don't forget to hit the like button for me. Feel free to drop down and leave a comment and also engage in the topic. And turn your bell notifications on so that you'll be notified each and every time I drop a new topic. And as you know, our mission is to create a safe space for women to gather as a community, engage in healthy dialogue regarding real life issues that we as women deal with on a daily basis. But most importantly, to foster the true meaning of sisterhood. And if you are here, that means you already subscribed and representing the Diva tribe, and not just any diva. We are divine, we are inspiring, we are valiant, and we are admirable. Welcome to the table, divas. Hello and happy Tuesday. And before we go any further, let me do my motivational quote of the day. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. So no matter what you're going through, just know that all things are possible if only you believe they are. So welcome. You know I have to be courteous when you come to my house. Let me go around the table and do my Divas roll call. Let me speak to those of you that are coming in. I appreciate you for joining me on this Tuesday live. We have a really good topic, a deep topic, and I cannot wait to hear your thoughts. And we are going to talk about it. To my sis, my divas, my mods, Teresa and Chit Chat. Hey sis, how y'all doing? Hope you had a great day. Sis is saying, I see in the chat saying that she is tired. She worked her tail off today. Oh my goodness, so did I. Hey Mama V, thanks for joining, sis. Thanks so much for being here. Please, to those of you who may be listening in the bushes, please drop down and hit the like button. Feel free to share the video. Feel free to drop down out of the bushes and leave a comment, engage in the topic, because we are going to have an amazing conversation today. And you all are going to want to talk about it. And we are going to talk about it today. So thank you to those of you for joining. And again, hello, and thank you. I appreciate you for rocking with me today. I hope you had a great weekend and an even better start to this new week, in spite of. I know a lot of us may be experiencing some difficulties or going through some things that nobody else may be privy to. And sometimes it takes us, sometimes it takes every ounce of push through that you have to keep moving and to keep going, because I know I've been there. So, in spite of all of those things, whatever they may be, just know that your sisters are here. We are praying with and for you. And, that's just what we're all about. We're about being the village for each other when we may be going through some things. And we don't necessarily have to always be going through things to need some prayers sent up. Sometimes we need some prayers for the things that we don't even see coming our way. So let's just continue praying for each other and lifting each other up. And again, just know that your sisters are here, and that's what we are here for. And now that I have that out of the way, I just wanted to remind you all that today is tax day. Did y'all remember to do y'all taxes? Today is tax day. So if you have not filed or filed an extension yet, you have until midnight. So don't forget to file those taxes, child. Don't forget to file those taxes. Did everybody file? Get those taxes done, child. We don't want no penalties. We do not want any penalties. How is everybody doing? Oh my goodness. How is you know what? And I noticed something when I was filing my taxes. They had the nerve to ask the question of if we wanted to donate to the presidential campaign. Girl, I rolled my eyes so hard. Like I would never. And the audacity for you to even ask. You know what, Teresa? Sis said she did hers last Thursday. Girl, I just did mine today. I was procrastinating because I always owe. Teresa said yes, and we owe again. Listen, I for the life of me, I cannot figure out why I always end up owing taxes. I really don't understand. And I take out the full amount. I really don't understand why I always end up owing. It's always something for them to get another dollar out of us, right? I always end up owing, and I'm sitting here like, how do I owe? And I'm looking at this W two like, this got to be a lie. You know that gross tax that they have that you made over the year, that is a lie. Because where is that? Because I didn't see it. Where is it at? Teresa said, "Child," I said, "No, so quick, girl. You and me both. Go away from me with this." I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Teresa say, same here. It's been at least 25 years since we have seen and that is so crazy. And we pay it throughout the year. And and I never understand how of course we know the government go get theirs. But I just really never understand. Like we pay taxes on our paycheck. We still have to pay taxes for everything that we go in these stores and we buy. Like I feel like they really be double dipping on us when it comes to these taxes. It's ridiculous. We got to pay taxes to eat in a restaurant, the food that we buy, the household supplies that we buy, and we got to pay it back. We pay taxes on our paycheck every pay period, and we still get taxed at the end of the year. And then I really, really be rolling my eyes at these people who be getting these $9,000 and $10,000 tax returns back in January. I be salty. You hear me? I be up and set. It is ridiculous. I be so upset. But hey, we got to pay to stay, right? We got to pay to stay. But we have a great, great topic. I am not going to hold you all long today. Sis says fact. Absolutely. It's a whole mess. But I am not going to hold you all long today. We're going to be talking about um, does baby mama drama affect the kids? Does baby mama drama affect the kids? And we're going to talk about it today because I saw something, a disturbing video on Instagram, which is where tonight's discussion is stemming from, regarding, and I'm sure most of you have seen it by now because I think it was a couple weeks, but it was regarding the baby mama that cut the braids out of the daughter's hair. And based on the comments that I was reading, it seems that the baby mama asked the dad for some money, the baby daddy, for some money to get the kids' hair braided. And instead of the dad giving her the money, he took the baby to get her hair braided. So, well, when he dropped the baby off, she saw, the baby mama saw that he had already gotten the baby's hair done. And this heifer, excuse my French, sat there and cut the braids and the cute little beads out of the baby's hair. And the baby is clearly distraught. The dad is filming because he wanted to show how she behaves when he was just trying to do right by his child. And I'm going to show the video. And keep in mind, everything is alleged and it is in our opinion. But I'm going to show the video so we can talk about it, because this really, really upset me. This really, really upset me. And we're going to talk about it. Let's show the video first, and then we're going to talk about it. Let me put up my copyright disclaimer. Before I put it up, copyright disclaimer: under the section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, all topics are for entertainment purposes only. The information presented in this live video shouldn't be taken as fact. Everything is alleged. So I am going to share my screen. so that you all can see. And I'm going to start it over. Let me turn up the volume so that it can start over. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to let it start over.
Say it. Hurt my baby feel. You don't hurt the dad. You hurt my baby. My baby sat there for 2 hours. My baby sat there for 2 hours. Baby sitting up out there being crying.
I don't care. I told you stop playing.
This motherfucker cut my baby hair out of here. Look at that shit. That shit sad. Hurt my baby feel. You don't hurt the dad. You hurt my baby. My baby sat there for 2 hours. My baby sat there for 2 hours. Baby sitting up out there being crying.
I don't care. I told you stop playing.
This motherfucker cut my baby hair out of here. Look at that shit. That shit sad. Hurt my baby feel. You don't hurt the dad. You hurt my baby. My baby sat there for 2 hours. My baby sat there for 2 hours. Baby sitting up out there.
Okay. That angered me. That really angered me. Seeing, right, absolutely. Oh, Teresa, right. It was so heartbreaking. Hey, CC, thanks for joining. Yes, Teresa. Teresa said that was so stupid. I couldn't believe she did that. Yes, it's very ignorant. Very ignorant. Very heartbreaking. Yes, CC, I definitely agree. That is definitely child abuse. Listen, I'm just thanks, sis. Sis Texas said no sound. Girl, I was gone. What did y'all hear? Did y'all hear? Did you hear the video? Let me know if you heard the video. Girl, I had myself on mute. Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining. Sis said no sound. I was just going. Did y'all hear the video? Let me know if you heard. Okay, you heard the video, but did you? Okay. I didn't take myself off mute when I turned the video off. Okay, she said sis said the last thing she heard was that was child abuse. Okay. Let me start over with my spiel. Let me start over with my spiel. We talked about her cutting the braids out of the baby hair before we did the video. So now that we have seen the video, let's talk about what we just saw and what we just witnessed in the video. And like I was saying while I was on mute, before we get started, y'all already know I am Team Woman every single day. I love us. I ride for us. I support us and all the things. However, I will also hold us accountable when need be, because this situation and many others like it is where I have to hold us accountable. This is something that irks me. This is something that really irks me to my core, because I hate seeing situations where there are actual fathers that do all they can to be a part of their kids' lives. And we have women like this one that makes it difficult. We are so mean and envious that either the dad didn't want to be with us for whatever reason and will be out here, making these men lives a living hell, drawing a wedge between the relationship with the man and the child. And we just really got to do better. And we spend a lot of times talking about, and I know we do over here, we spend a lot of times talking about men who are out here creating broken families and those that do. And keep in mind, we are not giving them a pass for creating broken families, but we highlighting the women that play a role in creating these broken homes too, because they do. Hey, LaDawn. Hey, LaDawn, thanks for driving, sis. But there are so many women out here that play a role in helping to create these broken homes. And if we as women don't want to come home living in chaos, we have to show the same respect to the men who don't want to come home living in chaos as well. But sadly, it's women like this one that we just saw that makes, they really are out here making good men walk away. And unfortunately, the majority of them walk away completely, not keeping the kids at the forefront, which is the issue, and going down to the courthouse and fighting for their rights. And I really wish that more of our men would be responsible enough to go to the courthouse and just, put themselves on child support, but fight to be in your kids' lives. But I can see how so many women like this one that we just witnessed really do play a major role in drawing a wedge with these children. Right, sis? I'm sorry, I said LaDawn. Teresa said all because she wanted the money. Absolutely. And my thing is, and y'all help me understand, why would there be a problem because he gave her, because he actually took the daughter to get her hair braided versus giving it to the mom? I personally think that she really wanted the money for herself. And, to sit here and see, there is no way in the world. And the girl's hair was pretty. It was braided really, really neat. It was super neat. And I know how some of us, because I'm a mom first. And I know how, we can be funny about having people play in our kids' hair. We don't want people in our kids' hair. And, I would have my daughter's hair already done before I sent them with their dad. So nobody had to touch their hair. I made sure their hair was already combed. I made sure they had clean clothes. I made sure, they had everything they need. Hey, Ajay. She said, thank God I never had to go through this. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and I try to wrap my mind why is it, and again, a lot of the situations that I've been seeing is because a lot of these women go through with these pregnancies or purposely get pregnant with the intent of thinking that, the man is going to keep them. And we've seen numerous times that having a baby does not keep the man. Going through the pregnancy, you need to go through the pregnancy as if in your mind, you are going to be the only one caring for this child. So don't ever set yourself up for disappointment by thinking that, oh, we're going to be this big happy family just because now we're bringing a baby into the equation. Hey, Sharon, thanks for joining, sis. How are you? Thanks for joining. So don't ever set yourself up for disappointment going through situations of getting pregnant and carrying, going through the pregnancy, thinking that this baby is going to be the glue that brings the dad back, or, the glue that holds our relationship together, because that's not always the case. It doesn't always happen like that. But what I don't like is seeing men who are out here actually trying to fight to provide for their kids. And it's women like this that's always throwing a roadblock in the way and preventing them from actually being able to have a relationship with their kids. Like, it's always something. It's either don't have my baby around, your new chick, and don't, it's always these stipulations that make it difficult. And so much so that there really are good men that would just throw up the towel and just walk away and say, well, you know what, when the kid get old enough, we'll be able to rekindle. Hopefully, we'll be able to rekindle the relationship. But then again, you have the mom in the same breath, all over social media and telling everybody in the community that he's a deadbeat dad and he don't do this and that for, the baby. And I think a lot of times, a lot of these women are just money driven. They do everything in their power to make these men's lives a living hell, because for one, it's a money thing. They want the money. They want to be able to continue to control him, and they want to continue to hold a kid over his head. Either you do as I say, or I won't allow you to see your kid. Or you come on my terms, or I won't allow you to see the kids. Or, if he don't answer the phone when she calls, or, well, don't call and come and see your kid. It's just always something. Hey, Sharon, thanks for joining, sis. It's just always something, and I feel like this is also, one of the number one reasons why there are so many broken homes, because a lot of these women are very combative. A lot of them are very mean and very evil, and they are very selfish when it comes to the children. They want to be able to dictate when the man can see the kid, when he can't have them. And I really wish that there were more men that was willing to, take the steps necessary to just go to the courthouse, put yourself on child support, go down and get your visitation rights, because there are rights for men. Go and fight to be a part of your kids' lives, so that she won't get to dictate to you that you can't have your kid. Go put yourself on child support. Establish those boundaries. You can utilize a mediator to exchange the kids. You guys don't even have to come in contact with each other. She has to, put yourself on a every other week or week on, week off, whatever the case may be. But do take the steps necessary to make sure that you are able to be a part of your kids' lives, and it's not just a child support thing. Being able to be present, to be visible, and actually able to spend time with your kid as well, because just as much as mothers are important in kids' lives, fathers are important as well. But this creates a home full of toxicity when this is what the kid is seeing. And you can clearly see the other kid that was there that was just standing there looking. So clearly this wasn't anything outside of the norm for them. These kids really, it seems like this toxic behavior was like the norm for their household. And we got to do better. We really, really have to do better. And I remember sharing a little story about my friend. I have a girlfriend that has a son that has a baby mama that's just like this. Oh my gosh. But she is too. When I say that girl is to the 10th power, and mind you, my friend's son is, he may be 25, if that, maybe 24, 25, one of those. But he got the baby mama from hell, as they call. She is just like this. Teresa said it's easier if they put themselves on child support, because the judge make sure you have your rights. Absolutely. Absolutely. AJ, am I saying your name right? Is it AJ? Let me know. AJ says a lot of men will complain, but can't put in the necessary work to go to court for visitation. Absolutely. Don't complain. But you know what? A lot of them have records. Unfortunately, a lot of them are convicted felons, and a lot of them feel like going to court is coming in contact. Okay. Yes, AJ. Okay. A lot of them feel like going to court is coming in contact with the law, and they don't want to do that, unfortunately. But I feel like by all means necessary, fight for your rights as a father, because fathers do have rights. Fathers do have rights as well. But my girlfriend's son, the situation with her son, okay, so she got pregnant the first time. Child, it's a long story, and it still goes on today. I think he's around 24, 25. Anyway, he ended up getting this chick pregnant. He was in college at the time, had come home from college. I think it was spring break, winter break, or whatever. Ended up getting with this chick, got the chick pregnant. While the girl was pregnant with the kid, I think he kind of broke off the relationship with her, whatever the case, but he still was, and his parents, they were still, making sure she was good with, during the pregnancy, because they were going to make sure he was in the kid's life. They was doing everything they were supposed to do. Hey, Deborah, thanks for joining, sis. So they were making sure that he was being visible, going with her to her doctor's appointment or what have you. But her goal was, now that I'm pregnant, we have to be a family. Her eyes was set that, okay, you're mine now because I'm pregnant. We're going to be a family. And, you know, my friend told him, she was like, look, okay, mistakes happen. You know, both of you all did what you did to, you know, get pregnant or whatever the case may be, but you are going to be a father. You're going to be a very present father in this kid's life. And she also explained to him that just because you are in a part of your kid's life, you do not have to be in a relationship. You have to learn how to co-parent with her. But the girl didn't want that. So he basically was staying away from her, but he would attend like the doctor's visits and stuff like that with her. And he was staying away from her. Don't you know that chick would pull up to my friend's house, pull up out in the driveway and just acting a pure nut in the neighborhood, and the neighbors were here. She had to call the police on this chick so many times, and she would be standing outside like, I know he in there. Tell him I'm out here. I know he's in there. Like really just carrying on all this ghetto-ish out in the neighborhood. You know, it is a very quiet neighborhood, nice suburban neighborhood, but she coming over and she creating all of this chaos outside. And I remember when she was sharing this information with us, and I told her, I said, she's going to be a problem. Hey, Sammy, thanks for joining, sis. She said, I finally caught alive. Yes, sis, I'm glad you were able to catch us. We're talking about baby mama drama girl. And so she basically shared that she was doing all of this crazy stuff. And when I say this girl, I don't care what family outings they are at, this girl has busted out his windows. She has cut tires. And the day that she gave birth to the baby, they actually got into it in the hospital room at the hospital, to the point to where security had to escort him out. Because here's the thing, she went through all of this drama while she was pregnant. She ended up having the baby, so she's in the hospital with the baby. I think she had to stay in the hospital maybe like 2-3 days. But when he came to see the baby, she actually wanted him to stay overnight in the hospital. So keep in mind, this chick was very jealous, and she really was set on, hey, let's be clear. Thanks for joining, sis. How you doing? So this chick really wanted this whole family unit thing, but they were not together. So again, this was the mindset that she had. If we have this baby, you know, we're family, you know, regardless of what you say. And she thought that the baby would actually bring them together. And he really just didn't want to be in a relationship with her. Although, you know, he shouldn't have slept with her. He should have used protection and all of the things. But because of her behavior and how she was always popping up at his parents' house, he was like, no, I don't want this. I don't want to be a part of this. And so the night that she gave birth to the baby, she was expecting him to stay at the hospital with her. She couldn't leave. So while she was in the hospital, she was like, well, you're not going to stay? And he was like, no, I'm going to go home so that I can get ready for work. I'll come back tomorrow. The baby is asleep. You're doing well. So I'll come back tomorrow. So after that, she started a huge girl. The girl got up out of the bed. He was sitting on the couch, the little hospital couch. The girl got up out of the bed with the IV and everything in her arm. Got up and she came and she swung on him because she was trying to take his phone out of his hand. So he was trying to block her. He did not hit her. You know, he was holding his hand out, trying to block her from being able to hit him. She goes to screaming. She's screaming like, help, help, like all of this stuff in the hospital. You know how quiet hospitals are. She's doing all of this hoopla in the hospital. The nurses ran in. Then the nurses went to call for security. Security came in. And as soon as they walk in, she was like, he hit me. He hit me. Like she literally was saying that he jumped on her and not the fact. And he was like, I was just trying to keep her from hitting me. And I was just trying to get my phone. Because she ended up getting his phone. He was like, I just want my phone and I want my keys and then I'm leaving. She didn't want him to leave. So she was trying to take his phone and his keys so that he could stay with her. So of course, security come, and of course he's a man, but he's a little thing. He's tiny. But because he's a man, she's in the hospital. They immediately gravitated to what she was saying. So they basically told him, get your stuff and leave the hospital, which is what he was trying to do from the beginning. He actually was trying to leave. But of course, she grabbed his phone and his keys and wouldn't allow him to leave. And she had scratched them like on his face. And keep in mind, he got dropped off at the hospital, and his ride was coming back when he called to say he was ready. But because the girl had his phone, he couldn't call his ride. So when the police got there, hey, I am blessed become Pam. Thanks for joining, sis. So when the police got there, the police was like, hey, you got to go. And he was asking the girl, like, do you want to press charges? And she was like, yeah, I'm pressing charges. The police made him leave. Thankfully, the police didn't apprehend him, but they did watch him go out the door. And do you not know that this boy had to walk all the way home from, and I'm saying his house was not close to the hospital. It was cold that night. It was rainy. This was in November. It was raining. Don't you know he had to walk all the way home because they did not allow him to get his phone from her. So he couldn't call. They just forced him out. You know how the police are when they come in contact with some black men, they get super aggressive. And they made him leave the hospital without giving him his keys, without giving him his phone. And he literally had to walk all the way from the hospital to his mom's house, drenching wet, cold, because he didn't have on a coat. Like, they really did not allow him to get his stuff off the couch. They forcefully made him leave. And so when he got home, his mom was like, who was he, sis? Yes, sis, he was my friend's son. This is my friend's son that went through this. And my friend is the house that the girl kept popping up on all the time, making chaos in the community. So yes, it's my girlfriend. That's one of my girlfriends in my book club. And this is real and relevant, still going on today. Right? It's still going on today. So he ended up going, getting to his mom's house. And this is basically when his mom and daddy set him down and say, okay, now either you choose to go through this situation or you decide today that you're going to walk away from this chick and do what you do about your baby. So apparently this girl, her mom, she doesn't have a good relationship with her mom. And, my friend being who she is, she pretty much gravitated to the girl because she did not have a good relationship with her mom. So she was basically trying to be that mother figure for her and just telling her how to take care of herself during the pregnancy and all of that kind of stuff. But because, the mom, was being as gentle as she was with her, the girl sort of felt like, okay, that's her end, that because she had a good relationship with the mom, then of course she was going to be able to get the boy, because that was her whole goal. She didn't care about the baby. She just cared about being in his presence. She literally was super upset, still is super obsessed with this boy. I'm super obsessed. And so they have to handle her with gloves because they fear that if they don't pretty much walk on eggshells with her, that she may harm the kid. Okay, because now there's 4 kids. This was the first baby with this incident. So he ended up breaking up with her and he dipped in again, getting back with her. He let her sweet talk him to come back over and ended up sleeping with her again. And guess what? She had a set of twin boys. I said, you know what? It's a wrap at this point. You are stuck with this chick. You are stuck with her. You may as well go ahead and marry her at this point because, you didn't listen to your parents when they said, and for the life of me, I didn't understand why, after everything that you went through with this chick before, you still went right back and did the same thing. So now he got twins with the girl, the oldest little girl. He had her in like that November. I think the oldest at this point, she's 5. I want to say. Then there's twin boys, and the 2 little boys, I want to say they are 3, and they now have a newborn that she just had in she just had this kid last year. So the newborn is not even 1 year old yet. But when I say this girl has taken this boy through pure hell, and he would stay. And he basically was one of those, the women where women are domestically AB users as well. She's one of those because he's super tiny. But again, he say that, I stay for my kids because I feel like if I don't come or if I don't show up, she's gonna harm the kids. And she's called the police on him several times. She's made false police reports on him several times resulting from things that she's done. She's shown up at like family gatherings and she'll start stuff at the family gatherings, and she'll try to force him to come home with her because she doesn't believe that they can actually effectively co-parent living separately. She feel like, oh, we don't have to date, but we can stay in the same household. She thinks like that. Something is really wrong. Her mother knows that something is wrong, which is why her mother doesn't deal with her anymore. Her grandmother knows that there's something wrong. So her grandmother is the one that kind of is there for her. But her grandmother comes off as if she's afraid of her as well, because she's one of those type of people who need help, but the family don't know how to help her. So yeah, she's bad. And the last event that she did happen this past February. So it just goes on and on and on. But again, these are the type of women that make men just want to throw in the towel. But again, we have to put some blame on them too, because they keep going back and having these kids with these women. So they are equally to blame. We're not putting the blame on just the woman or putting the blame on just the men, because they both laid down and helped procreate these kids. But we're talking about the bitter baby mamas. We're talking about the baby mamas who are actually real life out here making it difficult for these men to actually be a part of their kids' lives. And it's so prevalent. It happened more than we would think it happens, regardless of how the men say that they're going to man up and be what they need to be a part of their kids' lives. We do still have women out here that really do make it difficult. Has any of you experienced bitter baby mamas from any of the men in your families, or from your sons maybe? Or you could possibly have a daughter that's this way. It goes both ways. It goes both ways. AJ says, Lord, I have boys only and pray they never get a girl like that. Girl, listen. It takes prayer. You hear me? It takes prayer. It takes prayer. And that's what I say. We root and we ride for our women and our girls, but our boys have it bad out here too. So we really do have to keep our boys lifted and prayed over as well. Yes, Sharon, that is terrible. Let me read some comments. Teresa said things like that is what makes good men bitter and angry. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is women like this. For sure. Sharon said that's crazy. It is crazy. Sis says, child, they got 4 kids. Girl, let me tell you, the way I seen him at church a couple Sundays ago, and the way I say, yeah, now you trying to run to the Lord. Now you coming to church. Now you want to come to church 4 years later. And we told you about this chick. And I just don't understand. Talk about red flags slapping them all upside the head. We talk about red flags all the time, but talk about red flags slapping him all upside his head. This girl has tried to jump on his mama. When I say she busted out his daddy's, the windows to his car. Oh, I gotta tell y'all about that. Busted out the windows to his daddy car, scratched up the car. Girl, she is on one, to the point to where now they have her in court. She's actually in court because they did file charges on her. But girl, when I say she ruthless, and like I tell my friend all the time, you a good one. I know we pray and we give things to the Lord. However, she needed some hands laid on her a long time ago. She needed one of them good old outdoor whoopings. That's what she needed. She needed some hands. Couldn't have been me, because I'd have got her a long time ago. And I told my girlfriend, I say, that's where you went wrong. I say, you played too soft in the beginning. You let this girl get away with too much, and she thought that she could continue getting over on you and playing you for the sake of you wanting to be a part of your grandkids' lives. And that's what it was. They wanted to make sure they could still have a good relationship with the grandkids. So that's why they allowed her to get away with so much until now she's out of hand. When I say she's out of hand, she's completely out of hands. She's one of them ones that really needs to be in a straitjacket. And I'm putting it lightly to the things that she has done. If I tell you everything this girl has done to this boy, to my friend, to their property, you would wonder why she's not already in jail. It's a lot, Teresa, yes. And they keep going back. And that's for the life of me. I don't understand, because when you see her, he can do so much better. I don't know what kind of mojo she done put on him. I have no idea. Right, Sharon? Go ahead and move in, boy. Sis, at this point, that's exactly what he needs to do. Go ahead and move in. No, Teresa, I am not lying. Yes, sis, he loves it there. And it's to the point to where his parents have thrown their hands up. You know, they're like, don't call us, putting us in. And see, that's the thing. So my friend, she's cut him off from calling her, telling her anything about what they're dealing with. But the girl keeps bringing drama to my friend's front door because he's moved out now. He has his own place and the girl does not know where he stays. And so the girl thinks that his parents are hiding him. So she continues bringing drama to their door. That's the issue. Teresa says, boy, you just want to be, he just want to be there at this point. Hey, Cricket. Thanks for joining, sis. Sis says, nah, he's staying for the Hot Pocket. That's exactly. She bat-ish crazy, but she must got some good Hot Pocket because he stay going back. Sharon says in my chit-chat voice, woo, chat. Yes, honey. Sis says, yeah, in this scenario, I think he's just as toxic as she is. And and this is what goes back to what we say a lot of times. I don't care how good we raise our children. I do not care how good of a parent we are. It does not matter that our children come from 2-parent households. We can give them the best upbringing that there is. They can have the things that they want, the things that they desire, and we can give them a great home life, and they will still go out here and do stuff like this. So we can say all day long what our kids will or will not do. We don't know. We really do not know what they may end up getting, and we can give them the best life. So kids that be out here, and a lot of these kids that's out here in the streets doing any and everything, a lot of them come from great parents. A lot of them come from 2-parent households, but they get connected with the wrong crowd and they be out here doing those things as well. Teresa says, I only have boys too, and one of them had a girl like that. I told him if she get him locked up, he's staying. He left her 5 years ago and haven't looked back. Well, good for him. Good for him. And this one, when did she have that baby? She just had this baby right before Christmas, but he hasn't been with her. He wasn't with her when she had the baby. So he's left. But again, you 4 kids in now. But he's left her. They stay separate. Sis said 1 kid, okay, but 4, nah, right. 4 kids, you got 4 kids. Hey, Linda Gamble, thanks for joining, sis. Hey, my degree is real. Thanks for joining. Hey, Deborah, I appreciate you for being here. Sharon says, my nephew went through this. Thank God she got a boyfriend and left him alone. And you know what? After we did our deep dive on this girl, the last boyfriend that she had before him, the only reason why he was able to get away from her is he ended up going to jail. That's the only way he got away from her. That's the only reason why she's single, because they say she gave him hell too, and he didn't have kids with her. But again, this is why, these boys need to do their research on these girls too. They really do. Teresa says she would have had one time to jump on me and I would have been, girl, listen, she would have got a whooping. I would have forgot she was her age. She would have got a whooping for real. Sharon says she must got the snapped turtle. He can't leave. Girl, she got something. She putting it on him. She definitely got something. AJ says, let my son get hold to a girl like that. You may as well call me Mama D because I will rock her word. Girl, listen. Listen. Sis says, does he not realize that sleeping with her resets their relationship in her head? And that's what his mom was trying to get her to understand. She was like, if you don't want to be with her, stop sleeping with her. If you don't want to be with her, set boundaries. You can have a mediator to where the kids can get dropped off and picked up and all of that. And for a while, his mom my friend was the drop off pickup location until they fell out. Like my friend actually have a restraining order on this chick. She can't even come to her property. So and she don't even get to see her grandkids as much as she used to because, you know, again, a lot of the reason why she was putting up with the chick for so long and with her doing so much is because she really wanted a relationship with the kids because she knew the girl was unstable and they wanted to just make sure the kids were good. And that was the only way they actually could be in the kids' lives because they know the girl's mama isn't in her life. Her grandmother is old. I think her grandmother is in like her 80s. So it's only so much she could do. So they wanted to make sure that they were, you know, helping the girl and help. And then when I say they buy these kids everything, like the kids need for nothing. It's just that their mom, that something is loose. And that's putting it lightly. You think coleslaw crazy? Coleslaw ain't got nothing on this one. And that's for real. That's real life. That's real life. Teresa says he don't realize he's sleeping with the enemy. Absolutely. And he keep going back. Like old folks say, she done put the roots. That's exactly what it is. Hey, Tyra. Thanks for joining, sis. Oh, yeah. It's some kind of roots she got because she keep pulling him in. I think this last stint, though, this is the longest that he's been gone. He's been gone now for almost a year from living with her. And she doesn't know where he lives, which is why she is behaving the way she is now. But she can't go to his mom's property at all, and she don't know where he lived. My Degree is Real says at this point you pray for him and let God handle it because some people are blinded by love or what they think is love. And you know what it was? And I was telling my friend this, I believe the situation with him, you know how sometimes it's really cute to a lot of these guys when they feel like they got a chick that keeps sweating them and, you know, just keep like, who calling you and where you at, and just want to be around them and up under them all the time and, you know, give them those jealous vibes. A lot of men like that. A lot of men like to see that, oh, she crazy about me. Oh, she love me. She don't want nobody around me. But see, they be missing those red flags because their little ego, they be stroking these, women be stroking their ego and they don't be paying attention to these red flags. Just like us, a lot of times we miss the red flags and they don't really pay attention to the fact that, oh, she wants to be up under you for a reason. And she's the only person that she wants to be up under you. So you really have to kind of take that with a grain of salt when it's like, oh, she loves me. She just loves being around me. She want to go everywhere I go. Every time I leave, she want to go. She want us to dress alike. Like you really have to pay attention to those red flags. And I think a lot of us miss it. Sis said, and he gonna go back. Girl, probably already done been over there dipping and dabbing. He's only 20, he's 24, 25, sis. 24, 25. So he's not that old at all and already got 4 kids. And my girlfriend has 3 kids. And he's the oldest of her 3 kids. The daughter is right behind him, and he's the only one that got kids. And the daughter, like, who need kids when you got a whole little tribe over here? Let's see. Deborah says, my brother has 9 baby mamas. Ooh, child. 9 baby mamas. He has so much drama. I don't even have enough space to write about it. Deborah, girl, 9 baby mamas, and this one got 1, and she going crazy. I don't see how they do it. 9 baby mamas, right, sis? Wow. Oh my goodness. Teresa says, Pink Table Topics, can you play the video one more time for the saints that came in? Okay, saints that tipped in with your fingers up. Look, Deborah, you got us all saying like, wow, 9, yes, not. Hey, Rose, thanks for joining. And you all, to those of you that's coming in, please make sure you hit the like button for me. We are talking about the video that I just showed that was from Instagram about the father who took his baby. The baby mama asked for money to get the baby's hair done. So instead of the daddy giving the mom the money to get the baby's hair done, he went and got the hair braided himself. So when he came back to take the little girl home and the mama saw that he had already got her hair braided, she cut the braids out and the beads out of the baby's hair. So I'm going to show it again. So give me 1 second. Let me pull it up on my screen. And again, everything in this video is alleged. Alleged. Let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Let me take it off of mute. Let me take it off mute.
Say it. Hurt my baby feel. You don't hurt the dad. You hurt my baby. My baby sat there for 2 hours. My baby sat there for 2 hours. Baby sitting up out there bitch crying.
I don't care. I told you, stop playing with me.
This motherfucker cut my baby hair out of here. Look at that shit. That shit sad. Hurt my baby feel. You don't hurt the dad. You hurt my baby. My baby sat there for 2 hours. My baby sat there for 2 hours. Baby sitting up out there bitch crying.
I don't care. I told you, stop playing with me.
This motherfucker cut my baby hair out of here. Look at that shit. That shit sad. Hurt my baby feel. You don't hurt the dad. You hurt my baby. My baby sat there for 2 hours. My baby sat there for 2 hours. Baby sitting up.
Now let me remove it out of my screen. Isn't that something, y'all? Isn't that something? I mean, clearly the baby was sitting there traumatized. And the baby sat there for 2 whole hours getting her hair braided. And it was neat and it was pretty. And then she bending down, picking up the beads off the ground. Isn't that something? That's a whole mess. A whole mess. Sis said, child stroking more than the ego. Tyra says, Teresa, my baby daddy got 11 children and it's 10 of us. I'm baby mama number 3. I was young and dumb. Ooh, child. I remember back in the day with my grandmother and my aunts having 14 and 15 kids. But some of these men, oh my goodness, they out here laying it down. You hear me? Rose said, I saw some of the beginning. I had to catch up. Tyra says, yes, my oldest daughter is his 3rd oldest. Oh, okay. Hey, Nashonda. Thanks for joining, sis. Yes, Samantha, just bitter. My degree is real said that mother is wrong, like 2 left shoes. Who does that? Absolutely. Who does that? Yes, sis, it is trifling. Mama V says, my son dated a crazy girl like that. I was so happy when they broke up, but the sad part is we love her son. Absolutely. And it's always the babies that get the short end of the stick, which is so unfortunate in situations like that. The poor babies. Yes, Sharon, that poor baby. The kids always suffer. Always suffer. Teresa said, I just can't get over that baby crying. It's horrible. It's horrible. Let me read some of the comments that was over there. Some of the comments were saying, like what we just said, the kids always suffer at the ignorance of one parent. Kids always suffer. And that is so true. It is so true. So true. It says, stop trying to turn on the dad. He wanted to make his daughter happy and the mother just ruined it. Horrible mother. I totally agree. She is a horrible mother. Horrible. Because I wouldn't even want my baby to even be crying. The fact that you took the time out, and then the thing about it is, with her crazy tail, now you got to go in there and you got to redo her hair. The hair was already done. Now you got to go back in there and redo her hair. You got to finish taking the braids out And that's creating more work for you. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Hey, follow me, Black TV. Thanks for joining, sis. I appreciate you for being here. How you doing? That's the craziest thing. I'm like, did she not realize that now you got to go over there and redo the baby's hair? And I don't understand. He's a good one, because there's no way I would have grabbed my baby and I would have took off running with my baby, because there's no way I would have actually just sat there and watched her do it. I get him recording it for whatever purposes he needed, or to show everybody else. But there's no way I would have just purposely just stood there. And look at the other little boy. He don't look like he is much older than the little girl. He's sitting there just holding on to the daddy's hand and watching his little sister cry. That's the craziest thing I ever seen. The craziest thing. And everybody is saying I wanted to cry. And they were saying that the little girl is going to remember that forever. Poor baby is frozen in pain. She is. If you saw her little face, and hopefully he uses this video to try to at least get custody. And some of the other comments were, how could a mother do this to her perfect little baby? Exactly. And this is a good example of the toxicity that resides within this household. These kids have seen and experienced this before. Rose says, my first two grandchildren's mom got mad when my son got married and they wouldn't let us see them anymore. I didn't worry about it. My daughter gave us two grandkids and my son got two more kids. We good. Well, and I get it. And I totally agree. So are you able to, Rose, see those kids now, or do you still not have a relationship and get to see those babies? It's unfortunate that the babies get cheated out of, growing up around their families and being able to get to know granddad and grandmom and then their other sisters and brothers and cousins. It's just so unfortunate. Hey, Girlfriend Chronicles. Thanks for joining, sis. How are you? Girlfriend Chronicles said, child, that Biffa picked up them beads to use later. Is that what she did, girl? Rose says, no, we don't see them. Aw. Hopefully one day God will fix the situation and allow you all to be a part of the kids' lives, because, they need it. It's so unfortunate. And I bet any kind of money she's going around town saying he's a deadbeat dad and he don't do anything for his kids, because that's typically what they say. It's typically what they say. Tyra says, Teresa, she was a mess. He would always tell her, you don't want to mess with that one. Talking about me. Tyra, what you doing, girl? Girl, it was a mess. And one comment says, just traumatized the poor little girl because you couldn't even put your emotions in check as a grown woman. What are you going to teach your kids? I agree. What are you going to teach the kids when you can't even control your own emotions? You could have just sucked it up. There's no way that I would have did this in front of the kids, even though it probably would have bothered me. If it had bothered me, I still would not have. I would have checked my emotions, in front of my kids. I never would have allowed, for one, I never would have even allowed him to see that he bothered me by what he did. And I definitely would not have done that in front of my kids. And that's the thing. She allowed her emotions. She allowed him to see that whatever he did really got to her. The fact that he can go take his kids and get her hair done himself, and he didn't need her to do it. And that's what really bothered her. And like a lot of the comments were saying, she wanted the money for herself. And 9 times out of 10, she probably wasn't even going to use the money to get the baby's hair done. She probably just wanted the money herself. Rose said they are almost grown and he paid child support. The kid knows he pays child support though. Okay, that's good. And eventually a lot of times when the kids do grow up, they do reach out to try to gain that, try to mend that relationship with the other parent, because they know one thing about kids, they are smarter than we think they are. And when they grow up, they know who the problematic parent was. They end up growing up and already knowing, and will reach out to try to mend that relationship. So hopefully that happens. Teresa said, Tyra over there putting hands on one of them baby mamas. Girl, Tyra, you whooping up on the baby mama's child. I don't blame you though. Rose said, like they 17 and 18. Are you saying the kids or the boys were 17 and 18, sis? Let's read some more comments. One comment says, my guess is that the mom asked for the money to get the hair braided, but she added on extra. And the dad was feeling like something was up and decided to handle it himself and dropped off the daughter. You wanted the money, I'll take her there myself. And the mom wasn't happy that things didn't go her way. So she messed it up for everyone. I totally agree. I believe that she wanted the money. And everybody is telling him to take it to court, take the video to court for child abuse. Look at the pain on the baby's face. All the baby wanted was for her mother to tell her she was pretty. Aw, she did. All the baby wanted. You know what little girl doesn't want for her mom to tell her that she's pretty when she get her hair done? You know how when we do our baby's hair or when we get our hair done ourselves, the baby just wanted her mama to say she was pretty. Another comment said the kids always suffer at the ignorance of one parent. That's very true. Very true. A lot of people saying there's no way I would have watched her do my daughter like this. This is terrible parenting. Your ego has no empathy for the trauma that your daughter is clearly experiencing, and the baby is going to remember this for the rest of her life. Hopefully he uses this video to get custody. How could a mother do this to her perfect little baby? She traumatized the poor little girl, and the little boy is just as traumatized because he's looking in disbelief. I totally agree. This is crazy. And it says that your daughter will never forget that, and you have to live with that for the rest of your life. She may forget, but this is a core trauma. Key word, core trauma. This will be a core trauma for this little girl. This will be a core trauma for this little girl. Isn't that something? I'm going to drop the link if anybody wants to come up. If anybody wants to come up and have words on the topic, you can. If not, that's okay. But if you want to come up, I did put the link in the chat. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. This is, like I say, this is more prevalent than just seeing it on Instagram. And this has been going on a long time. It's just that us having social media is able to highlight a lot of these things now. And, now we're being able to see these things in real life. Hey, SKR. You're on mute, sis. So take it off mute.
Hey, I'm gonna stay on mute till I'm just about home. So I'm gonna stay on mute and let some other people come up.
Okay, sis. Mm-hmm. Drive safely. But this is just more, I think now since we are in the era of social media, we're able to actually see a lot of these things more so in real time. But again, like I was just telling you, it's going on more so than, not. And like I was saying, my girlfriend is going through it visibly, like today, for real. I remember you remember when I went on my vacation to Miami, she was one of the girls that went with me. And she was sharing with me some of the stuff that was going on. Hey, sis.
Hey, sis. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Hello to the chat.
Thanks for joining me.
You are welcome.
SK Aura is driving. She says she'll be home in a minute.
Yeah. I didn't want y'all to hear the wind.
I didn't know she could hear me, child. I was about to talk about you.
I didn't want y'all to hear the wind and all the background noise. I'm trying to be a good panelist.
We appreciate it, sis. We do.
Be careful, sis. But how are you, sis? What do you have to add on this topic in this
I have a couple things. When it comes to the story of the hold on, let me close this door. Hold on, sis. Every time I start talking, I think they hate my voice. Other people.
No, them babies don't be wanting you to get nobody else's attention.
I'm over their ass. But the ignorant mama. I put earlier in the comment section, that's the type of woman where the man could tell her, come by my house tonight and she'll be there.
Mhm.
She's showing all of this fake outrage or anger or whatever her problem is. And her problem is with him,
Absolutely.
not that child. And I
Mhm.
agree with the comment that you made that you read, excuse me, that baby will be traumatized for the rest of her life. You know what I mean? We don't know if
Mhm.
she goes and get, we call them French braids. If she go and get French braids with the beads again, something is going to trigger her to remember her mom cutting those braids out. So it was
Mhm.
very hurtful to watch. You know, you had sent me that one day last week, I think it was.
Mhm.
And yeah, very, very sad. But now let me get on into the get on, sis. Your girl's
Girl,
son, no ma'am, no ma'am,
girl.
no ma'am. Yo, that
Listen,
bread, no,
I threw my hands up with him after the first baby.
Let me just go ahead and get on into it. Look, that man, 24, I think you said he is not a
Mhm.
victim.
At
And
all.
and you know, I always say this: you cannot be a victim and volunteer.
Volunteer,
And every
absolutely.
time he go over there and pump, and put
Yes.
another baby in her, he volunteered for that. And unfortunately, it is your friend and her husband, and it's them that's going through this. He loves
Mhm.
it there. Don't get
He
it twisted.
does.
He
He
loves it
does.
there.
Mhm.
4 kids, absolutely not, sir. Marry that woman. That's why she crazy. So in that case, I don't think it's baby mama drama. These Negroes play a part in the mindset of a lot of women when they go over there and whisper them sweet nothings in your ear just to
Mhm.
get it, hit it, and quit it. And then they got you over there looking stupid and crazy. So
Mhm.
for that, he's not a victim. I don't think that, you know, maybe she does have issues. I'm not saying that, you know, seem like she may be a little fatal attraction-ish, but he's played a part in that and he's continued. For him
Absolutely.
to not be there when his last baby was born. It's a newborn baby. Negro,
Mhm.
how come you're not at the hospital? You
Mhm.
know what I mean? You don't get that privilege of keep pumping these babies in her, but she crazy. Now your ass crazy too.
Mhm.
So your friend need to tell her son, look, it may be best for all of us if you go ahead and settle down and marry that lady. I'm sorry.
And they have. And hey, LaDawn, welcome to the panel, sis. How are
Hey,
you?
what's one?
Hey y'all.
Hey,
How are
girl.
you? And they have completely taken their hands off of it. She basically told him, like, don't bring it over here. Whatever you do over there with her is what you do. They took their hands off of it after the twin boys, because
Mm,
basically they saw, okay, especially his daddy. The daddy sat down and had a conversation with him, basically telling him to marry the girl. But
mhm.
he didn't, because he just didn't want to be with the chick. But yet you keep dipping and diving over there.
Yeah,
You
he
keep going
loves
back.
it.
So you may as well go on and stay with her. You know, don't decide that you want to walk away when things aren't going good between y'all. And then when it's
Right.
going good, then you back over there having unprotected sex with her. So either you want it or not,
Mhm.
because if you didn't want no more kids, you would wrap it up and you would
That's it.
protect
That's all.
not only yourself, you would protect her as well. So you wouldn't keep having the kids.
Look,
But
he having
again,
those babies with her because he don't want nobody else to have them babies with her. I'm
mhm,
sorry, I see through the whole thing. He keeping
absolutely.
her barefoot and pregnant and crazy.
And
You
he's
know what I
sending
mean?
mixed signals, because if
That's
you
what it
keep
is.
dipping, you're sending mixed signals, because you can't come telling us that she crazy, but you keep going back.
Absolutely not.
She can't force you to keep coming back. So you keep going back on your own.
Right. And that's why I said that every time he goes over there and sleeps with her, he resets it. So
Hmm.
she's back hopeful. She's back wanting her baby's daddy in her life. And oh my God, kids, daddy's coming home. Daddy then hit it and quit it and gone to the next one. He's not a victim at
Hmm.
all.
And I think he just basically want to be out in the street with his little
That's
friends,
it. But
but he
don't
got
bring
all
no
them
help.
kids. So you know how some of the men's are, I'm gonna
Mm.
play mad at you just so I can be gone a couple days and kicking it with my boys, but then I'm gonna dip back when I want to come
Oh,
back, and it ain't
he
nothing.
ain't done.
It ain't done.
He's not
Cause
done.
baby,
So
listen.
Yeah, I'm glad that we were able to talk about that because I was over here. I'd be like, That's all I was saying while you was talking. He is definitely not a victim, and I get it that again, that's your friend's son, but son, know what he doing?
And we done told her about son. We told
Yeah.
her, but she was trying to be more lenient with the girl because the girl would keep the grandkids from them. And they wanted to be a part of the grandkids' life. So they just continued to allow her to be who she was for far too long. But a lot of the stuff that she was doing, she never would have been able to do that with me, like a long time ago since the first baby.
Yeah, but what about what he's doing?
And what he's done as well. So they
Yeah.
did. So in her defense, she did tell him, that's your family. You created it and you stuck with her. Like, do what you do. And he does take care of the kids. He does. But in his mind, I don't want to be with her in a relationship, but I want to keep sleeping with her. That's his thing. He continues sleeping with her. And I told him after the first baby, you may as well go on and marry her. I mean, you locked now. You may as well go on to marry her because you keep going back, dipping and, giving her babies. And like what we were saying, you're sending mixed signals because you're giving her hope that, okay, maybe we can work it out. And then, she becomes bitter again when you decide to leave and you start doing the same old thing. So now I'm going to cause hell for you. So again, it's a lot of toxicity still in both him and her because it's still toxic and you playing games. And it's a mess.
Yeah, and first baby, he probably could have had her out, but then you got the twins that then came along. Then you got another baby, and even on the outside looking in, because I don't know them folks, he loves it there. Again, but he knows what he's doing. So unfortunately, I think you said that she didn't have her mom in her life and all of that. Unfortunately, a lot of women, younger girls, whatever the case may be, they're not able to mentally deal with what they really know is going on. You know what I'm saying? She understands that he walks in and out, but if she don't have a family, she didn't have that family base, that is her family. And he needs to stop playing games. And look, snapped and all of that is real. Either you're gonna be with that girl or you're not. But for me, I'm putting more blame on him. I'm curious though, what LaDawn feel about that.
And she has a brother, and she's really, really close to her brother because her brother is who she calls when stuff get out of hand, and he basically he'll pop up on people for her. But I just wish I wish that she will get to a point to where you got to stop letting him come in and out as well.
Yeah.
You can't continue to just keep letting him roll up on you when he get ready because, yes, you may have 4 kids, but hold your head up and go ahead and raise your kids and do what you do. And if he ain't ready to get it right, stop letting him pop in and pop out. So in that sense, it's both of us. We both got to he can't do what I don't allow him to do. And she can't do what he don't allow her to do. So at some point, one of us have to say enough is enough.
Absolutely.
And, I would hope it's her because again, she is a woman, and regardless of what her home life may have been like, at some point, we 4 kids in, at some point now, you got to be an adult in the situation and put your foot down and set boundaries and say, although he is outside knocking on the door, I don't have to let him in.
Easier said than done for a lot of people, even with the reference of Ariane and the bullshit, mess that she's been able to get away with and all of that. There would be no stories if it wasn't for Martell. Ariane couldn't have continued to do anything. So the same thing with this guy. Unfortunately, I'm assuming she may be around the age that he is, 24 years old. You know what I mean? That the both of them, I totally agree, need to get it together. But easier said than done, unfortunately, for a lot of young women that have had all of these kids and feel stuck. And then I'm gonna get strong. Oh, I'm so strong this week. Don't call me. Don't come by my house. Then he come with his narrow tail earth, like my mama used to say, knocking on the door and baby, I'm sorry, to get in between her legs. he holds more responsibility to her mental what's the word that I'm looking for as far as where she is mentally and all of that. He holds the cards to that, you know, because he's playing with that girl, period.
He is. I agree. LaDawn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I
You
was just
ready,
wondering.
SKR?
I was just wondering, but I'm if you're the person that you're the one that's in control, it's like both of them did not learn about boundaries. And so when you let other people just continue to step and step and step, then I'm looking at you like, where did the growth stop with you? You know, it's almost like we're arrested at a certain age and we haven't moved forward. And now that since she's got like the 4 kids, she does feel stuck. And it is that something in us, because you know, you've always heard make an honest woman out of her, make an honest woman out of her. That old saying they used to say. And it makes me wonder, do women feel like, okay, I done had this baby by this man, and you know, I've got to pull this together, and let's make this family, let's get this family. And she's longing for a family that she did not have. And so, you know, and he's playing on that. But then too, that's where I would not let somebody have that much mental control over me. So it's like, but if she don't know and is afraid to go get counseling to get herself strong, to not let somebody else have the mental card over her, then what do she do? I know somebody has had to tell her, hey, won't you go get counseling? Won't you talk to somebody? You know, because you can't just let somebody hold your own mental card on you. He knows what he's doing. He wants, and that tells me right there that he must can't get no other females. Because
He
he
probably
can't
got
get
him.
no other females.
He
Because
probably got him.
He got plenty.
I know he got him,
well,
child.
if he got plenty, why is he over there? Because he could go and
Because he's
run
a
up in between.
Negro.
And then of course he goes over there because she keep allowing him to come over there. So if she wouldn't allow it, then he wouldn't go. And again, this isn't the first boy she's been like this with. This is just the one she ended up having kids with. She was even worse with the first boyfriend. So
She's
it's
longing for
something with
family.
her that keeps her being connected to these men and don't want to let go, even when they try to walk away.
Or it could be something about her that these Negroes recognize that they can use.
Play with.
You know what I mean?
They see men can recognize the weakness. They can recognize that she'll do whatever I tell her to do, or she'll behave however I tell her to behave.
And where does that come from? Lack of love.
I agree, because I got a couple baby daddies, and let me tell you, I already was in the mind frame of not doubling back. If we broke up for a reason. Things wasn't working. It's done. You ain't coming dipping back in this sauce. It was a privilege. I treated mine like a privilege. Like, you just ain't gonna come in and out like drop in. You know, I still blame the man, because a man knows our insecurities, our vulnerabilities. They know, and a lot of men zone in on that. And, you know, I have 1 girl and 3 boys. And I'm going to tell you like this. I teach both of them, man and woman. Don't ever be in a predicament where you get trapped up when it's something that you can avoid. You can strap up, and she cannot allow you to keep coming up in her like that, in her house like that, in and out. So, but I blame the man more, because if he doesn't pull himself over there, there will be no door to open for anybody. You would just leave her be. You know what I mean? You're going to her. And I think it's sad. And and if it was my son, I got 3 boys, I would feel so sad that they would take advantage of somebody's their emotional instability. That girl's longing for love and family, and she's willing to get dragged through the mud to keep it. And a lot of women are like that. And it's sad. You know,
Can I say this to LaDon, sis?
Mhm.
LaDon, thank you for saying that last part, because I do think that had his mom really kept it real with her, the mom know her boy. And if he got plenty of women now, he been having plenty of women. This one just one that is a little cuckoo, you know what I'm saying, as far as how much she really likes him. But I think it would have meant a lot if his mother would have said, look, girl, my boy is not looking for nothing serious. You can take my advice or not, but I would highly recommend that you go on about your business. Don't have no kids by him. He not ready. He gonna
And you know what?
A lot of times we gotta be honest.
And she actually told the girl that when she was pregnant with the first baby. She actually sat the girl down and told her, just to let you know how men are, and just because you're having this baby does not guarantee that y'all are going to be together and
not
be in a
me and her
relationship.
son.
Right. No, she really was telling him. She actually had the conversation. Like, don't ever let a man knock you off your square. Don't ever let a man take advantage of you. Don't ever let a man do this, that, and the third. She actually sat down and told the girl, because she really was treating her like a mother figure when the girl was pregnant and she found out she was pregnant. But the girl just would not take no for an answer. Even when it was times for, even let's say the spurts that the guy did walk away for months at a time, she still was coming, and he had a no contact. He was not contacting her. This was after the first one. She still kept coming. She still kept coming. So even though, let's say, even though there are men, and I'm not saying that they're not, there are men that keep coming and playing on our emotional. But then on the flip side, there are women who will not take no for an answer either. So even when the man say, okay, I'm done, I wash my hand, they still keep coming too. So again, it's something on the inside that we got
of them.
I got that one too, Pinky, because you remember I did some time. So when I did my time, my husband was dealing with this girl. And when I got out, a month before I got out, I said, dead all of that. I don't want nobody approaching me. You know, dead whoever you was messing with before I came home. And that's what he was supposed to have did. But this girl didn't want to let go. I had him change his number. And once he changed the number, that was any communication, anything outside of that, it was a no-go. He shut it down. She called the sister. She would call the mother, you know, and the only reason why the mother finally answered for her is because she said, I'm pregnant. And that's why the mother answered. But even the man, a woman can keep coming all she want to. You got to also shut it down. Just like I tell my boys, if a woman scratch you, slap you, or hit you, you better run like you running from a dog, okay? And you get one of your girl cousins to come back later, but you don't stand there and let a girl hit you till your reflexes finally hit back, because you're only human. You know what I mean? You're only human. So you run away and you deal with everything else later. You understand? So my thing is, even if the girl keeps coming, it goes back to the fact is, to that man, don't let her in.
But she coming and he coming in another way. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know, but if a woman, and I also seen when a woman is not really healed or have self-esteem, anytime a man, because I seen it even on Love and Hip Hop Miami, it was like the second season when the girl said, oh, he's jealous. When he's jealous, he loves you. No, that's possession. You know, that's possessive to me. So in some women's minds, you know, oh, he keep coming over here sleeping with me. He really want me. I know you're saying don't let him take advantage of me. I know you're saying that don't let no man do this, but he keeps coming. So in her mind, she's thinking he keeps coming to me, so he wants me. You know what I mean? Because she's not thinking with a clear mind, obviously. So he's sending her mixed messages. Don't go. Don't go on both ends. Don't, when it's done, it's done. Don't let him in. I don't go back.
And that's just like a lot of the women that my brother has dealt with. And the majority of them, I know he told them that, okay, we ain't in a relationship. We just doing what we do. And he will dip in and out whenever he want to. And one of these chicks, it was like, it would be years in between time. And he still could dip back in when he wanted to. And she would allow him to do this. And the girl would not get into another relationship with anybody else. She literally sat there and stayed single until whenever my brother decided that he wanted to come back, he would come back.
They crazy, girl. They
Yeah.
crazy.
But can we be be honest? Because maybe it's me, and I just had this conversation with my sister the other day. My sister is 9 years older than me, and she just seems to have forgotten her past. So there's a lot of judgmental talk when it comes to her. Well, yeah, she should have, and she talked about somebody that was unalive recently, and it was left a poor taste in my mouth. But I know at our age now, we know if something doesn't feel good to us, we out of there. We cutting it off. But back in the day, I know I'm not the only one that has fallen for the baby. I'm sorry. Now I don't know if it would have been multiple times like this young lady where she's had 4 kids by this guy. But a lot of us, LaDawn, weren't just strong enough, or I don't even know if I want to use the word strong enough. A lot of us didn't cut these Negroes off at the first glimpse of, oh, you didn't come pick me up last night. Okay, we done. It's over. You gone on.
I think it's a big difference between dropping off some D and keeping me stuck with babies.
Right.
Okay.
Or just keeping me stuck single, and I'm just keeping the door open for whenever you decide to come back. So yes, I totally agree that we've all had those moments to where we didn't walk away at first expense, or he may have cheated and we still went back a few times. But just keeping the door open for you to continue, and I'm just speaking for me. Negro, you had one time, I'm not keeping the door open on you, and just as much as you can go get somebody else, watch me show you how many people I can go get. That's just how I was. A lot of these women that I witnessed my brother deal with, I actually would tell them, I'm like, girl, you crazy. I used to be the one, and I was younger than my brother, but I used to be the one watching how he moved and maneuvered with these women. And I was always the one telling them, like, chick, you crazy. Like, and these are women who, so we can't always say that there is some type of mental disconnect with a lot of these women, because a lot of these women willingly keep themselves in these situations because these women were, when I say they were on the top of their game professionally, they had the best of jobs, had their own homes and own money and all of this stuff, but they still would let him play and continue to dip in and out when they chose to, and could have beautiful women, could have anybody, but they still, it was just something about him that they allowed him to just keep coming back and forth when they got ready.
Yeah.
I mean, I accept, my man had a baby on me with that girl. I get it. But my thing is, I didn't allow it to continue to make it a problem in my relationship. There were some boundaries. I had just got out of jail. She got pregnant while I was in jail. The last month I got in jail, she got pregnant, so I had to make some choices. Either I'm going to deal with it and accept this baby because this baby is innocent, or I can't. In the beginning, I felt like I couldn't. So I left for a minute. But then my love and the loyalty and the relationship, I felt like was worth it. And I felt like maybe I can do it. And I did. And I loved that baby. But everybody's not like that. There are some evil people, some jealous-hearted evil people. And you just can't trust everybody around your baby. And the first sign to me is if a person don't like you. If they don't like the mother to where they're, harassing them and all that, I wouldn't feel comfortable with my baby being around them. The girl had a problem with me, but I didn't have a problem with her. So that's why she tried that at first. Oh, I don't want my baby around her. But when I say go to court, the judge gonna say on a bad day, you got to turn that baby over. And that's what happened. He got his own apartment. We don't care nothing about her past. She don't got no child endangerment. She done did her time. That baby can go and see that man. It's so what? She's on the lease. And that's what she had to do. You know what I mean? But you have to set your boundaries and stick to them. Yeah, we make some choices and some mistakes. But when it comes to keep bringing, allowing a man to put you in situations where you get stuck with 4 kids and the struggle and the stigma, then yeah, we got to keep talking to each other and learn from us older people who did make bad choices and who did make some decisions. And that's why we have these conversations, so they can hear it before it happens. That ain't the way to go, sis. And the way I went ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no.
And sometimes a lot of women are willing participants. A lot of them are willingly participating in whatever the game is between she and the guy. A lot of them don't care how many women you have. The door always be open, you know, and I'll stay and just hold on to hope that maybe one day you will choose me. So a lot of times they willingly participate in this game, in this toxicity.
Is that a sense of desperation?
For me, it is, because I wouldn't
hold
do
out
it.
that hope that you will get picked by that one person.
To me, I feel like it's a sense of, how do I want to say it? I feel like, to me, it's a self-esteem issue, because I feel like you think that you can't do better. And I feel like you think that, you know, this is as good as you can get. And you'll just sit by and just wait on him to decide if and when he wants to come back to choose you. Because I'm not sitting on the sideline waiting to be chosen.
Because you should know
that he will continue to play on your mental, because he know you're gonna wait. He already know that he's gonna come when he get ready, and you're gonna be sitting right there with the door open. It's just like a revolving door. He come in and out as he choose, because he knows that you have a pattern of doing that. So I think it has a lot to do with self-esteem.
For sure. You know, nowadays we have, you know, this social media. We've got TV shows about where relationships have gone bad. And we say that maybe the younger generation will learn from the older generation. But I think within all generations, we all think that I'm going to do it better than what you did. And that's not going to be the case for me. And stop putting your trauma off on me. What happened to you is not going to happen to me. So this person, they going to go ahead and do what they going to do. I'm not going to listen to what you've been through, because my situation ain't like yours. And I'm going to make mine's different, because I'm a different type of person than you. So I'm not going to listen to your story and what you've been through. So when you have that kind of attitude, how can you tell a woman that's in love anything different? Because she's gonna do it better than you. You're not her, and she not you, and her relationship is different, and he's a different type of dude than what you was messing with. And so it's hard to, you know, offer that type of advice to somebody when they don't want to receive it, because they have that mentality. And you know, they can watch all the Lifetime movies and still think that my situation is different. But but we've got example after example after example, and it's like what they say: you're no different. You just one of the he's one of the roosters up in there, and it's just like I don't understand why each generation keep thinking that theirs situation is going to be different and they're going to do it better.
Well, I don't think it's a generational thing. I think it's an individual thing. Because I know women who are in our generation that still out here making the same mistakes. So, you know, although I feel like we can give advice, it does not mean that our advice is the only advice. But we can give advice by sharing the experiences that we've had with similar situations. but just telling them what not to do. And a lot of people have to actually go through it themselves before they can actually see it. A lot of times you can, tell a
Yes.
person all day long, but they actually have to run their head up through that brick wall before they actually finally get it. Because as parents, that is the one thing that we do try to do. We do try to sit our boys and girls down and have those conversations with them and say, hey, if I were you, I wouldn't do this, that, or the third, because this was my experience and this is what happened with me. But again, a lot of these people are driven by their peers, what they see their peers doing, or the people in their circle that is connected to them. And they feel like, because a lot of people are not honest, a lot of people will show you the glitz and glam, but they won't show you the behind the scenes of everything that they're actually going through. So we feel like just because I haven't seen Sally or Sue go through this and they're doing the same thing, then they haven't experienced. And then mom maybe just telling me this because she just don't want me to do it. And so a lot of times they just have to bump their head before they can actually see and come back and say, you know what, you were right. And the only thing we can do, and I wouldn't say stop sharing and stop trying to help and stop telling, eventually they'll get it. Sometimes it takes a lot of people longer to get it than others. Some people have to, it's their path and their journey that God has them on, that they have to go through those things to be able to get and come out on the other side before they can actually get it.
I agree, Pink Diva. I agree, because I was going to say the same thing. Basically, when you give advice, you don't give it thinking that everybody's going to take it, but you hope somebody grab onto it. And even when people don't, when they fall, the ones that did listen to your advice, they get back up quicker because they have something in the cabinet. You know what I mean? So you don't go out thinking, oh, well, maybe 5 will get it and 2 won't. It don't matter. Even if it's 1, you're still supposed to share your experience. And like Pink Diva said, all of us as individuals, we got to go through our path. And sometimes our path will bring us the same way, sometimes different. It might be unique. You know what I mean? But it's always good to put your experience, strength, and hope out there, because we do learn from each other eventually. People just get it at different times. I had to grasp from different people when I was rebuilding myself. I had to take from different people, even people that I didn't see growing up. I had to do that as a young lady in my 30s, grab from other women to know what kind of woman I wanted to show up to be. You know what I mean? So advice comes at different times, even if they don't take it right then and there, it's okay. And then even if all of them don't take it, somebody will. And that's what's important.
Sis, you remember when I was on the phone with you Friday? After I picked up the rental car, right? And you remember when my niece called? Okay, so when I got off the phone with you, I called her back. And the tone of voice that was used to
I was just gonna say tone.
The tone of voice, her mate walked in and said some things, and it bothered me all while I was in California, but I let her know instantly. God just had me, because when I was on the phone with you, I told her I would call her back. So when I hung up the phone with you and I called her back, God wanted me to call her at that time so I could witness and hear, and we were on FaceTime, what I heard. And this is no joke. My niece she was born in 93. That makes her what, 32. Had a home built from the ground up, decorated career in the military, money, got it going on, period, point blank. And the tone that was used, girlfriend, I'm sorry, YouTube is now, hold on. I was mid-comment. YouTube is now hiding it. Stunned me. And we finally had a talk yesterday. And I had to have a talk similar to what you're talking about, LaDawn, and all of that. Don't you ever in your life let somebody, I mean, I would have to say it probably on Patreon. So, she's married and looking to get out of it. And I don't know. Again, I was just so stunned by that because it's so out of character, and we're talking about self-esteem and all of that, and this other person has nothing. So that's what I told her. You didn't let this girl, because she's, in a same-sex marriage, chip away at your damn self-esteem to where you're now, and when we hung up the phone on Friday, she sent me a message like, I hate this B or whatever. I said, look, I hate the tone. I hate what I heard. And you make sure you call me as soon as you can, But anyway, I say all of that to say that you can find yourself in situations where, unfortunately, we have to realize this is a large world, and if everybody got it, it would be amazing. But sometimes you got to go through some shit to get through some shit. And I was just stunned. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that she would have been the one. Do you guys know how my whole family go from 0 to 100? Sit there on FaceTime with her and see her stuck at 0. Ain't no 100. What the hell going on? So when I called my brother, this how pissed I was. Called my brother, called my other sisters, ready to call her sisters. We ready to hop on a plane and get there this weekend. But again, it's a married situation and we gotta chill. So yeah, they some people will allow themselves to go through some things in attempts to making it work. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Self-esteem is gone. And this girl was active her whole life. That's the one that I raised. Volleyball, basketball, sports, track, college, Air Force, Army, everything. And it was so sad to witness. But I think that, again, God made me be in that position to listen. And I had a talk with her yesterday for a good hour. So it can happen to people that we may just think that are just strong. You know what I mean? Yes. So like you mentioned, LaDawn, the tools that we need is, number one, keep talking about it. Number two, you let people know that's not love. You know what I'm saying? Yes. It's sad. It's sad.
And we are and hopefully she's able to get out of that. I do, because I hate hearing how you say how decorated she was and just how full of life she was before this. So hopefully she's able to get away and then still be able to walk away with her pride, with her head hung up. But that also explains and shows how, we can seemingly people hide it so well. Like people really be out here, you be watching these people in their relationships and you be out here talking about some hashtag relationship goals, but you don't even be knowing what these people are going through behind the scenes. Like they pop out on the scene like we're all good, we love each other, we're the best couple ever, but behind the scenes we're living in a bunch of toxicity and a bunch of chaos behind the scene. And then we're looking at, just like Sis was saying about her niece, like this, this was somebody that was full of life, and she knows how our family operate, and she wasn't raised like this. She wasn't taught to be this type of person. And to actually see it and witness it, it is disheartening, because we didn't raise you like that. So that's why I was saying, like, we raise our kids, and we talk to them and tell them how they should be, how they should react, what they should accept and what they shouldn't. And to respond back to SKR when she was mentioning how, we can talk to them and then they don't receive it. But a lot of times it's in our tone. We can't come off as being judgmental when we are providing advice and telling them, how they should or shouldn't do things and how they should move with certain things. We can't come off as judgmental. We have to talk to them in a tone that is more receptive. And a lot of times we don't. I have seen a lot of situations from people that, I know when they're talking to their children, their girls, especially, trying to tell them, well, don't you do this, this, and this. They come off as if they're better than. You know how a lot of times we can act like we're holier than thou, like we have made no mistakes. We have never done anything wrong. We've never been in a bad relationship. So it's hard for them to accept it and to receive it when you're coming off that way. So we do have to be mindful of our tone.
Chit Chat, I know that you gonna, continue to keep her, you and your family gonna keep her covered and everything, because since that other her spouse does not have anything, that means that becomes a dangerous situation. And I know that you're gonna tell her that she needs to silence. She don't need announce anything. She just needs to
Mhm.
do anything behind the scenes, because when she get ready to move and strike, she gonna have to move and she gonna have to get gone quickly.
But
Because when a person don't have anything, that's when they're the most dangerous.
absolutely,
So I know
absolutely.
that y'all will keep her covered and with advice, and she don't need to let the girl get her all mad to where she
Mhm.
divorce you and stuff like that. Just she need to move in silence. And when
You're
it's
right.
time to move, that's when
Mhm.
we stepping and we moving real quick, and we're gonna do it while you at work.
Yeah, and you know what, SKR, that's why we had to, especially myself, because she a couple hours away plane ride for me real quick. And I wanted to bypass everything that I did this weekend and do just that. But again, it's a marriage situation, and you're absolutely right. There's a child involved. Now, my niece carried the baby, and this girl only came into her life 2 months before. So she went through the whole in vitro and everything by herself. But she's now recognizing this chick. It's a lot. We're gonna have to talk about it in members only, because I don't want to put too much of her business out here. But that is
Well,
the number one reason why I and my other family members pump the brakes. But what's scary though is the other chick ain't got nothing to lose. You know what I mean? That's scary. She hasn't contributed anything,
Mm.
oh
nothing.
yeah, that's a dangerous
My
person.
niece has purchased cars
Oh
and
yeah,
all of that was like, oh girl, what is you doing? Anyway,
dangerous
she's
situation.
already chipped away. The relationship that I've had with my niece and other family members, she's done her part in isolating her to a certain extent.
Mm.
It's a lot. I got to talk about it behind closed doors, but I promise you, we was ready.
Is
But
this
for
Well,
the
that
you
same
very,
one
still
that you?
go.
Is this the same one you told us about a while ago? I think a long time ago that she was telling your niece that you didn't like her or something.
yes, ma'am.
Oh wow.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
can still go.
I only met this chick once, okay? And that's when they came to Arizona, and that was my first time seeing the baby and all of that. But she's military, my niece. So
Mhm.
she just when I say she's making in the 200s, that's what I'm when I say she got it going on, she got it going on. So
Mm.
she started a new government contracted position about a month or so ago. Had to go to Virginia for the training and all of that. But she's waiting for her. This is what she told me yesterday. She's waiting for her benefits to kick in, because they provide them with free attorneys for whatever, especially divorce.
Mhm.
So her benefits kick in the beginning of May. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that's going on, but she got a lot of me in her. And somebody in the comment put 0 to 1,000. Normally, Tyra, that's her. And that's what I'm afraid of. I don't want her to go from 0, I don't want her to get to that breaking point and go from 0 to 1,000, because this chick is not gonna know what hit her. You know what I'm saying? But it is. We'll talk about it. Y'all
Well,
remember? We'll talk about it.
I think you need to make some monthly visits, maybe.
No, the
Where you
visits.
go
It
for,
ain't gonna be no visits, because she about to get on up out of there.
Right.
well, I'm talking
No, we
about,
don't need sister
during this
visit.
process,
Well,
while you in
no,
the first
yeah,
few
yeah,
months.
no. I'll be in. I need y'all
We'll
commissary,
be having
sale money.
right.
Yeah, no, it
No,
ain't
Yeah,
that.
you're not
we
gonna go over there and stay at her house or
No,
anything.
I
You're going to
absolutely
spend the
am.
weekend.
No, absolutely not. I'm staying right there
that'll
in
be
the house.
trouble, trouble, trouble.
Look at me wrong and is on and popping.
No, need you
Yeah,
to be. I need you to be a support on the other side. You go stay at that hotel,
I ain't
and
staying at
you
no
go get
hotel.
that baby
Absolutely.
out the house.
No,
No,
look,
because
that's my niece's house. Now she can go to a hotel. I don't give a
no,
damn what the
that's
title
her.
is.
That's her
That's
spouse.
right.
That's her spouse. We
Yeah.
need you to be strong. We know how you gonna get, and I need you to be strong. And the
You
person,
know, yeah,
I
you
need you
know.
to go out there and go lay eyes on your baby.
Yeah, no, we look as far as the things that we have in motion is under control, but there's one person that will be doing that, and that's my brother, because he's been the one that's been able to. He's had to run unbeknownst to me, take a drive when she was in a different part of Nevada, which was only 3-4 hours away from him, where he lives in California. So after we started talking about this, so he's going to do that. It's not a good idea for me. I raised her, so no, I ain't staying in no damn hotel. Period. Point blank. But we'll talk about it. Look, Girlfriend Chronicles. Look, I'll say this and then I'll say the rest in members only. Y'all heard what Britt said she had, right? To Kenya. Well, that's what I told my niece yesterday, but I said I will pee with her earth, like, and she know that. Girl will come down there and knock you straight across. Who do you think you talk? If I wish you guys could have heard the tone. And I'll give you guys a piece. Lord, I hope my little niece don't run across this video. I'm on the phone with her. The chick come in and she say, "You didn't load the goddamn dishwasher?"
Girl, what?
Wait a minute now. She ain't said just one time. What is the problem? You've been sitting here all morning. Chick don't work. Chick don't do. My niece now she wanted to be a chef, so she's currently in school to become that's the shit that the game that she running on her. Baby, the tone, and again, I'm waiting for my little mini me to pop the F off. I'm sitting there like, I know you not.
Like, who you talking to?
It never came. She said, I told you that I had something to do, while I'm off today. I told you, well, that's the problem. You off and you, girl. Speechless is what it left me. A steam coming out my ears and baby, she went on and on and on. You've been sitting here for and okay, I'm gonna say this. And how did I hijack this conversation?
So we enjoyed it.
It started with the self-esteem. That's what it was, because she's allowed her to chip away at her self-esteem, but she just kept going on and on. You could have been done this. You just sitting up here and whatever. So yeah, once I really, really talked to her, and look, I don't sugarcoat shit. And I purposely waited until I got back so I can really talk. And we had that talk yesterday. And like I said, she's not no joke. This is out of the norm for my niece. And I had to let her know, what she is very active in the babies. Like, girl, F that shit.
Oh, I can't.
Right, we'll be active in the babies.
Look, that child is 2 years old. That child will be okay. You don't stay in shit. That's not love. I had the whole talk with her yesterday. And she said, Auntie, I'm just really trying not to snap, because I will go off. And she said, I was embarrassed. I said, well, did you say anything after you got off the damn phone with me? And she said that she did, But like I said, God had me on there to hear that.
Absolutely.
And just to keep it real, in her birthday is in January. She called me, she paid. They were somewhere on a trip. I don't know, I think they was in Jamaica. And she called me. She was sitting off somewhere and they had gotten into it. And she said she made a mistake. She should have never married her and all of that. So this has been going on in her head. And Teresa, I see what you say as far as the legal and all of that. She got money. And like I told her, if you got to pay, you go ahead and get, because this chick told her she filed for divorce, but she's never received any paperwork. You don't wait for it. You go down there, you file. So, but she's cheap. And when I say she got buku bucks, she got buku bucks. But she's cheap, And well, no, my job, they're going to pay for the lawyers, but I promise you I'm doing it. So anyway, I'm rambling now. Remind me to talk more about this. Like I say, on members only or whatever. I got a Patreon tomorrow, midday. We can talk about this. But baby, I was ready to take a flight. Like, seriously. Not only me, my sister, my brother is gonna be the one that go. Her sisters are cray. My other nieces do not play. 0 games. So before we get involved to that extent, because she does have access to the baby. It's just a lot of different components where we have to not move in the way that we normally move. So this chick watches the baby while she's at work and all of that. We don't want to cause anything where she run with this child. It's a lot. But I can guarantee you it's going to be handled though.
And it sounds like she's jealous of her.
She's extremely jealous of her. And I said that yesterday. You're going to let a nothing mother effer chip away at you because you are accomplished. I kept saying, you that bitch.
Right.
You that, what the F is, I mean, I went off. What the fuck is wrong with you? Because she hasn't done a damn thing in life. And she's jealous of everything that you've done and continue to do. The only thing left is for her to chip away at your self-esteem, to make you feel like you ain't shit. You the shit. She the shit. She's accomplished shit that I haven't in my life. She's the shit at a young age. And you gonna let this nothing that girl look.
I know she had you wrecked up.
Yeah, she in Colorado. Teresa, she sold her house that again built from the ground up in Nevada and took on this other job in Colorado. Yeah, girl, look, I'm seeing red right now, so I'm sorry. I don't know how we got here.
Ask you a question.
It's talking about the self-esteem of a woman, and people in relationships to where there's no boundaries within yourself or in making sure that others, and you show and display those boundaries. And it's you just letting other people step all over you. And I think that everybody has to go through that in life, but I don't know. It's like, how many times do you let somebody keep breaking going over your boundaries? And why are you so scared to set the boundaries? What we lose when you set some boundaries? What are you so scared of with boundaries? That person is not the only person in the world. I mean, there's other people, and then your happiness, like I heard on another content creator today, your happiness should not be wrapped up in another person. You should be yourself first, and then they should be an addition to what happiness and whatever you got going on in your life. Your life should not start because you got with this person. Your life should have been started and they just going along for the ride. They helping you along the way. Not my life is starting now since I got this man and this, I don't know.
It's sad because a lot of people yearn for love. You know what I mean? We are taught this at kids, and you're going to grow up and you're going to get married and you're going to have kids and you're going to have a white picket fence and all of the above. And then for some people, when it's not a smooth path that they're on, a lot of them go through a little extra shit that they know that they shouldn't, in hopes of keeping that, and that's the thing that I think people, and I said that to my niece, look, it is okay. Told her this yesterday. I left my husband after 10 years. Your grandmama left my daddy after 27 years. Please don't think that just because you didn't get married to somebody, that's it, that's all. Get on up out of that. Love yourself. And you're right, SKR, that's the thing. People need to be okay with loving yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you cannot just sweep things under the rug when you know it's not feeling good and when you know it's not right.
I agree. And I think a lot of the issue is too, a lot of us love hard. When we love hard because a lot of us have already had in our mind, what love looks like, what we want out of the relationship, what we're looking to accomplish. Like Sis was saying, the whole white picket fence and all of that. A lot of women, especially girls, a lot of us grow up with wanting the house with the white picket fence and the kids and the happy marriage and all of that kind of stuff and the healthy relationship. So when we get what we feel like is that happy, healthy relationship, we do everything in our power to keep that relationship. And a lot of times behind the scenes, it may not even be healthy for us, but because we desire to make it work, because on the outside looking in, we are relationship goals. Everybody is looking at like, oh, they have the job, they have the house, the cars, they have the kids, they're happy. So we want to continue to keep up that persona because it looks good, even though it may not feel good behind the scenes. A lot of times we'll continue to stay and continue to take things because of what it looks like to other people, because we feel like if I have to go down here and file for this divorce, now I feel like I'm a failure. Now everybody is going to be looking at me like I failed. And, you know, and we stay in things, unfortunately, longer than we should have. And a lot of times we won't set those boundaries because of fear that people won't accept those boundaries. So a lot of times, you know, out of fear of that, we refuse to set boundaries because we know the person we're trying to set them with won't abide by those boundaries, and then we'll be back at square one. So I think it's again an individual contribution. We all think differently, we all want different. It's easy for us to say, like sis said earlier, the person we are now, it's easy for us to sit here and say what we will not do and what we will not take. But there has been moments somewhere in history where we have stayed in relationships longer than we should have. We have put up with things that, you know, we shouldn't have put up with. And, you know, but look at us now, here we are, but we had to go through those things. And of course, if I'm, you know, a family member and I can recognize you're going through those things, of course, attack mode is the first thing that I go into, because how dare you? You know, so, you know, that's just how we're built. We always want to go into save mode. We want to save, you know, those that are closest to us to make sure that they don't experience the things that we have to. But unfortunately, just like we had to go through it, they have to go through theirs too. We will be here to help them when they come out on the other side. But, you know, unfortunately, they have, you know, everybody has to go through that storm, because the thing about it is we can't save everybody. And, you know, saving everybody only sets them up for failure later, because if we keep saving them and keep helping them out of situations, they'll continue going back. So sometimes we have to allow them to go through it in order to come out and not go back into it.
Yeah. Well, you know, going back to the lady with the cutting the little girl's braids out of her hair, it seemed like it was several kids there. So she looked like she had multiple kids. So I mean, how would you help somebody like her? Just like she is so determined to create a family with someone that I'm gonna lay down with this person so I can, you know, hopefully he'll, you know, we can get this family. But I guess it doesn't compute that. I don't know. I just guess I was always different, that I would want him to propose to me. That would be the most biggest thing outside of the baby. I don't know. I guess I'm just I thought different or whatever. But now looking at that situation and how she was and is around those type of kids, and she looked like she can birth at least 2 more kids, and it made me very angry, because here I am, I can't have no kids. And but this lady, her uterus is just fruitful. And you know, she, even if she didn't get prenatal care, she would have a perfect birth, and she got no reproductive problems, nothing like that. And she could keep popping out these kids with however many different guys or whoever with the same guy, and she keeps having kids and in the situation that she's in. And it's like it made me so mad, because now this little girl has got to grow up with some level of trauma because you can't control yourself. And then we got a guy over here, we don't know what his situation is, why she's so mad at him, you know, and where she couldn't even just be honest with him and say, hey, I need a few dollars to do this. Why she felt like she got to trick him out of some money, you know, let me tell him I need my baby's hair braided, but I'm gonna take the money and go do such and such. Why couldn't she just ask him for the change. So I don't know. I just get mad at these type of folks that just do this stupid stuff, and then it's all on the internet. But then you got multiple people out there that wish they could and can't. And but this piece of crap over here can birth them all out. And now we creating trauma with this child. And so
I totally agree. And it's like yourself, a lot of women who desire to have children, but then we have a lot of women like her who don't deserve to have them, but they keep having them back to back to back to back, and it's unfortunate. And looking at her situation, it to me, I feel like she's just a bitter baby mama. I feel like, you know, a lot of times I've seen situations to where the guy has moved on. You know, he has a new lady in his life, and he does want to do right by his children, but because she's I feel like she's full of anger. She's angry that for whatever reason their relationship didn't work out, and he chose to be with whomever he's with now, and didn't choose her. So she holds that against him because, you know, and even though he's still wanting to do for his kids, like based off what we saw on the video, you know, he wanted to do right by his daughter. He took her to get her hair done, but the mom was unappreciative, you know, for whatever reason. Like someone just said in the chat that they think that it could have possibly been maybe Girlfriend Chronicles. Maybe it was the bitter baby mama because she felt like he let the side chick do the baby's hair. You know,
yeah.
Right. So maybe she felt like the side chick did the baby's hair or whatever the case may be. But my thing is, you know, as a mom, like I was saying with me, my kid's dad didn't have to take my babies nowhere to get hair done because it would have already been done. So why was the baby's hair not done already? She could have done the baby's hair herself, or she could have already gotten the baby's hair done, and she wouldn't have had to go through this situation of him having to take the baby somewhere to get the hair done. So again, it could have been mitigated in a lot of different ways. But again, I feel like maybe the father was just doing a nice gesture. Maybe he wanted to, you know, he spent his weekend with the baby and the baby wanted her hair done, and he took her to get her hair braided for whatever the case may be. We can't really just pinpoint why and where her anger came from, but I feel like she is angry and she is bitter for whatever reason. I see that a lot. A lot of times these men really do be good men, and the women just be bitter, you know, and they make, you know, lives for the children just full of toxicity. And it's unfortunate, but we see it every day. And, you know, how do we help them?
Do we think that, you know, just playing devil's advocate, because I do look, it's a lot of cray women, especially out here, when you mix in the disappointment of a relationship ending and all of that. But do we think that in this case that he could have played a part in her SKR, you use the word, I keep on wanting to say mental capacity, but that's not what I want to say. Where she is mentally now. Do we think that there was a history of something that transpired between them that is no reason, and I'm not condoning her actions at all. She's a disgusting human being, but could he have played a part in where she is today, filled with anger and all of that?
It's a possibility that he could. I mean, we did see 2 kids, and my thing is the other kid his as well? Because if you paid attention to the video, the other kid did look like he was holding on to the dad's leg and looking at the mom and looking at his sister crying, the little girl crying. So I'm wondering if both kids were his as well. So it could be a situation too where, and you know, and I'm not excusing him, you know, playing a part in it as well, because we only saw the part he was recording. And unfortunately, we do know that there are men who will antagonize you and then pull out the camera and want to, you know, record, but to actually see you go through that length to where you're actually cutting the hair out of the baby, that was diabolical. Regardless of what he did or what he said, it should have never resulted in you actually cutting this baby's hair out. So it could have been something. I'm sure there seems like there was a history, because it seems like this happens a lot. It wasn't the first time that something has happened like this with the 2 of them. So it just seems like they have a very toxic environment anyway. And a lot of times men who wants to portray as being, you know, the world's best dad will pull out the camera.
Martell.
Exactly. And will pull out the camera and start recording when they see you in this moment. So we don't know what he actually said to her before he started recording. He could have said, you know, I had my other lady braid her hair or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he could
never know.
Exactly. So he could have been antagonizing her, but there still was no excuse for her to result to cutting the baby's hair out.
Yeah, and look what it got her. She lost control. And now you're viral for just looking like a complete nutcase. You know what I mean? And causing that trauma to your baby. So yeah, you know, I think that he could have. I don't know. I'm trying to give. I don't know. I'm on this little kick now where I'm really, really trying to give. Only if they deserve it, a little more extended grace to a lot of women, because a lot of these Negroes do be on BS. You know what I mean?
They really, really do. And Girlfriend Chronicles said, what do you all think about a man doing for their child only, and the mother makes the child suffer because all of the children aren't taken care of like that one?
I hate it.
I hate that as well. And I have seen that happen to where he's taking care of his child. The mom has, I think we've seen that video circling a long time ago where the father took his kid McDonald's and the mother was mad because he didn't bring all the kids McDonald's. So we see a lot of that happen a lot of time because, I mean, in his defense, he only has one child. Now it depends on the level of petty with the men, because I do know some men who will bring for the other kids too when they know that there are multiple kids in the house. But again, you know, how can you hold one man accountable to do for all kids and you're not holding the other daddies accountable? Because where they daddies at? You know, so we do have to be fair.
And if they're in a relationship, I'm a package deal. So if I got 10 kids and I only got one by you, you knew that when you got with me. So in that space, you taking care of all of them. But if it's just a father, you know what I mean, that's coming over and trying to do, I don't agree with the McDonald's. You should have enough money where you can buy all them babies a little Happy Meal. You know what I'm saying? Time shouldn't be that damn hard. But, you know, if he's coming to pay for his child's back to school clothes and book bags and all of that, you can't expect him to say, well, she got these other ones, I'm not with her and I'm gonna do for all of them. No, you know what I mean? So
I totally agree. What are your thoughts about that, SKR?
I kind of see it a little differently. I just would not expect him to buy for all the other kids McDonald's. I mean, even if he got it, I don't know. I feel like that's his only child. You the one laid up with the other ones. I mean, you have where like Chit Chat said, where they daddy at? Why are you putting the sole responsibility on me to bring everybody something to eat? Well, did they bring a whole pizza or something when they came through? Oh, they don't come through. But you gonna shortchange me, you gonna punish me or whatever because I did come through and pick up my child and I took him around the block and or whatever and gave him some McDonald's or whatever.
Well, let him eat it around the block though.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's the part that was the part out of it. He should have let him in the car and not in front of all of the kids.
Exactly.
Because the kids don't know.
Right. And they sitting there hungry. And I get it, SKR. You right. I said it and I mean it. Because again, you're gonna spend what, $5 on a Happy Meal compared to 50. You would rather your child sit there and eat in the face of his siblings that's hungry. It's fine. Take them to McDonald's, eat at McDonald's, and drop them back off. But it's cruel to me. You know what I'm saying? If you allow that child to come back with a meal and they don't have anything. It is not his responsibility. But as a woman, I would do that if I was involved with or knew that these kids are over there suffering. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. You know what I'm saying? It's a couple dollars.
And we have also seen situations to where a mother has multiple kids and the one kid has an active father, and the mother actually show a difference in that kid that has the active father versus the difference that she's showing the kids that don't. So, a lot of times these people just be dealing with internal stuff, and their way of thinking isn't our way of thinking. But yet they keep popping these babies out. They can't afford to take care of the ones they have, but they keep popping them out and keep popping them out. And, and then again, here we are creating even more broken homes, because you keep having kids in an already broken environment and an already toxic environment. And then you already can't afford, to take care of the ones that you have. So, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. This is the reality for a lot of people, but it really is unfortunate. How I see it says, I've seen men try to take care of their kids with so much pushback to the point of giving up. People think the family court system is easy to navigate, but it's not. It really isn't. And it's really hard for men. There are a lot of men now, unless you are a man with a lot of money and a great attorney, like a lot of these NBA stars that can get custody of their kids. It really is the court system really do side with a lot of the women a lot of times. And, there are good fathers that are actually out there trying to fight for rights for their children. So it is unfortunate. LaDawn, what do you have to add about the situation about the dad taking food to one kid, but not the rest?
Yeah, I wasn't raised like that, period. You just don't eat in people's face. So I'm like chit chat, pick your child up, take her around the corner, let her eat it before she get to the house. But just for anybody, it's just a lot to eat in somebody's face or in children's face is mind blowing on the type of dude you are. And if I was dating a dude that did such things, that would be a deal breaker for me. I wouldn't wait around any longer. And if I was with a man who made a baby and chose to give it up and not take care of it and want to take their rights away, that's also a deal breaker. Because if you can just detach from your own flesh and blood, then I know in the long run you can turn off on me like that. So I don't like it. I think it was wrong of him. I can't imagine anybody saying that's right. Like you said, with the school clothes, when you come by, when it's summertime, winter, summer, spring, and fall, and you bring in a bag of clothes to your child, that's different. But you don't send no food over there and let her, no.
I totally agree. Cece says, right, nothing excused the trauma that baby experienced. Nothing at all. How I see it says, a lot of people don't know that custody and child support are two separate things in family court. A man can be on child support but can't afford a lawyer to continue a fight for custody rights. I totally agree. Teresa said it should be a choice. Yes, it should be a choice at whether or not he takes something or not. Tyra says, so I'm trying to remember, did she have kids before she had a child with him? I think if I can remember, Tyra, I do think that there were, he was like the middle, I want to say.
The McDonald's situation.
Yeah. I don't think he was the oldest.
Right.
Even the girl with the hair, that was whack. Like, you would love to have a stepmother that will help and make it easier for you. That.
Yeah, but that depends, LaDawn. If the stepmama came in the situation while she was still with the guy, you know what I mean? We just got to be realistic of how it is out in these streets.
I didn't know that part. That's
right.
Different.
No, and I don't know if that's true, but I'm just saying, a lot of times it all boils down to the man. And if he was moving shady, where he had these two different women, he's sleeping with them and all of that, she may not be as open to this girl getting the baby's hair done. Never should she have cut it out. She could have let him leave, and it's still ignorant to me. But I would have, if I was that disappointed, I would have let him leave, took my baby on in the house, took them braids down, braided her hair back up myself. It was a way that she can do that. But, I don't know. Good topic, though. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, again, I agree, sis. It all depends on how the you know, the new woman came, you know, into life. And again, if I am, you know, approaching a relationship with the guy that I know have kids, I'm the type of woman who gonna make sure you pay child support, you taking care of your kids. I'm
Right.
not going to go into a relationship dating a man that ain't taking care of his kids. Because if you can't
Yeah.
even take care of kids that you help create, I know you can't do for me. And
That's
I
right.
would, you know, I wouldn't feel right knowing that I'm sitting here dating a man and he got kids across town that he ain't even seeing. He's
Mm-hmm.
not taken care of. So I'm not that woman. I'm the woman that's going to say, hey, have you called the kids? You know,
Mm-hmm.
what do the kids need? You know, send the kids something to go get the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that type of, you know,
Yeah.
person. I'm that type of person. I always would want to include the kids. I never want
Mm-hmm.
to be a part of there being a broken relationship between you and your kids.
That's
And
right.
I'm the type of person who will talk to the ex. And, you know, I would try to form that relationship to make her feel comfortable enough to allow her kids to come, you know,
Right.
come around me and come to our house and letting her know,
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't have any beef with you. Whatever issue y'all have, let's keep it on the kids. Let's
Mm-hmm.
make sure,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's about the kids. And when the kids come over here, they're going to be treated just like my kids would be treated. You know,
Exactly.
they're going to be taken care of. They ain't going to be disrespectful because mine ain't disrespectful. You know, so the same rules apply. But I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
make your kids feel just as loved as I make mine, because I do believe in that thing called karma. I do believe that,
Right.
you know, at some point it could be a situation to where my kid has to go to their dad's house with a new stepmama or something. And I want
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that same, you know, good deed I put out with somebody else's kid, that lady would do the
It's
same for my kids,
returned.
and that
Yeah.
she's not mistreating my kids, because I know how I go about mine. So I would
Mm-hmm.
never, and it's just not in my heart to mistreat kids.
Mm-mm.
It's just not in my heart to just to mistreat people in general, regardless of who it is. You know, I'm a good-hearted person to everybody. I believe in giving everybody a chance until you show me different. But I would never just set out to just really be a mean and evil person to a
Right.
kid just because I'm now the new girl and I'm dating, you know, because I always want to pay attention to what caused this relationship, this broken relationship between you and your baby mama. Like, I'm gonna ask him questions like, what went wrong?
Yeah.
Like, why she's so bitter at you? Like, what did you do? What
Mm-hmm.
role did you play? Because he's not innocent either. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so we
Mm-hmm.
have to kind of be careful. But a lot of women, unfortunately, would take the side of the guy and, you know, just go along with whatever he's telling you, and then still allow him to not be active in his kid's life. So
Yeah.
again, we have to set that boundary as far as with him as well. Like, if you date me, you're gonna have to take care of them kids, because what happens if we have one?
Exactly. Why would you want to be with them? You know, I'm just so grateful for, because with you talking about that, it made me just look at, again, I was in long-term situations or married, and each, you know, my first husband, his daughter, we got married in 1995, still calls me mom, still talks, you know, we still talk. My ex that unfortunately just passed away, he came with 4 kids at the time, 1, 2, 3. 3 were teenagers, 1 was 17, then the other 2 was mid, and then the baby. She was a baby when we got together. All of them still got a relationship with them. And then my husband, that my ex-husband that I just divorced, you know, got a relationship with his son still, you know. So I think it does mean a lot to the kids when you are able just to love them, even if you're with the person or not. You know what I mean? They remember that. These kids are, some of them are late 20s and early 30s, and they remember, you know, me. So yeah,
Mhm.
you gotta love the kids. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree. Gotta love the kids for sure.
Mhm.
Great topic. This has been a great
Yes.
discussion. Is a lot of life lessons in it, and some of the stuff that we saw, we were able to relate to our own personal lives and the things that we see in regards to what we saw on the video. And we just got to do better. Just as women, we have to make sure that we keep ourselves in the mental space to just not accept any and everything. You know, because again, men will only do what you allow them to do. And we have to get
Mhm.
to a point to where, we learn to love ourselves and just, know that we don't have to just accept any and everything. And it's okay being by yourself until you can get that man that is going to do right by you, and the one that's going to love you the way that you desire to be loved. And if you're already in a situation, with one kid and you see you struggling with that one, stop opening your leg and allowing these men to come in and just keep knocking you up with babies, and then he dipping out when he get ready, then he'll come back and give you another one. Like, we got to do better as well. We got to learn how to sometimes just close the door. And, and if he really was meant to be a part of your life, when he see that you set those boundaries, he'll eventually either get it right or get left behind, one or the other. But just hopefully that we can get to a point to where we're not seeing this. And we have to keep in mind, especially when we're going through baby mama and baby daddy situations, keeping the kids at the forefront, because that's what's most important in all of this. Just making sure we're remembering the kids and just not being comfortable. I remember when we was growing up, it was stuff our parents just wouldn't even see us, let us see them doing. Like, they wouldn't let us see them having disagreements or any of that kind of stuff. We weren't privy to any of that. Not saying it wasn't going on, but we never saw it. And, and today, these people just have kids in so many grown-up situations that they shouldn't even be in. And, the kids should never experience what we saw this little girl experience. And it's just so sad. Hopefully, she doesn't grow up with trauma. And hopefully the mom can get herself together and get to a point to where she's not portraying this kind of behavior, to the point to where even if the man did something to her, hopefully she can get to a point that she no longer allows him to pull that anger and that bitterness out of her, especially in front of her children. So hopefully, Cece says, as my late grandma would say, keep your frock tail down. Absolutely. So we're going to go around for final thought from our panelists. It's been a great discussion. Everybody had so many great comments to add to the topic, and I'm so glad that you were able to join me on the panel. So SKR, we're going to start with you and get your final thoughts on the topic, sis.
My final thoughts is, like you said, this was a great topic. Of course, we've got our ladies that, we talk about this and everything else. And hopefully maybe one day, some other people will, hear this topic and maybe follow some advice or whatever. All we can do is just take our life lessons, and try to help aid somebody else. And hopefully maybe it'll stick with somebody, and they'll be like, hey, I heard about this, and I'm a watch this. I'm gonna open my eyes up a little bit more. But I just hope, as women, we know that the men are got their part in it too. But just because we are talking about women and everything, we got our women group and stuff. Just accountability and being okay when you're not okay, get help, and be willing to accept the advice and the help. So that's all I got.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your final thoughts. And I totally agree. LaDawn, what are your final thoughts, sis?
Well, I agree with SKR, and I this was a wonderful topic because I kind of feel my age lately because of my outlook now, because of what I've been through and how my views are different. But I'm okay with that because that's called wisdom. So I'm okay with that. But this is what I tell my little cousins and nieces around. I say, listen, it's like a puzzle. You can turn that puzzle piece any way you want to and try to force it in. If it don't fit, it don't fit. Period. Move on. That's it.
Well, excellent final thoughts. And I totally agree. Move on. Sis, what are your final thoughts?
Child, I done turned into my mama. LaDawn, you are right. Wisdom. You know, my mom used to always tell me, look, the bridges you trying to cross, I done already been across. You know, letting me know what you trying to, the game you trying to run with me is not working. I said those same words to my little niece last night. The bridges you are crossing, meaning what she was going through relationship wise, been there, done that. Excellent, excellent conversation and discussion tonight. And you know, I think that even with some of these baby mamas that we talking about, if they open themselves up to what SKR said, some advice, or what LaDawn said, wisdom, then eventually they'll mature and get there as well. So, you know, I don't have a lot of grace for a lot of folks. But again, when you can recognize that, unfortunately, a lot of these knucklehead Negroes play a part in the mindset of a lot of these women, then that blame should go both ways. But excellent discussion, sis. I loved it.
Great final thoughts, sis, and you are so right. Definitely hope that, and you said something, a word that stood out, mature. It's definitely a maturity thing. And we have to remember that a lot of these people, although they may be old in age, they are not mature in age. So a lot of times they're still operating with a young mindset, and they have not yet reached that level of maturity. So hopefully, eventually they'll grow into a level of maturity to where they can accept the wisdom of their elders and know and understand that, you know, when advice is being given to them, that it's actually for the better good for themselves, and not just because, you know, people just don't want to see them do well, or, you know, feel like, you know, my grandmother saying this because she don't want me to be in a relationship because her relationship didn't work. But a lot of times, you know, when you're on the outside looking in, it's easier for you to recognize when things are going wrong than it is for you when you're in it. Because, you know, even we have found ourselves in situations to where it felt good to us, but on the outside looking in, you know, and family members coming to us like something that ain't right about that, you know, but we didn't see it because we had our blinders on. You know, we weren't able to see it. So we have to allow them the opportunity to get to that point as well. And we just keep telling them, keep educating them, keep sharing wisdom. Don't stop just because it feel like it's falling on deaf ears. You know, that's what we're here for. You know, we've gone through it. So now it's our job to continue educating and to continue sharing our wisdom with them and to whomever that we come in contact with, you know, and just mind your tone. Just make sure the way that you say it is in a way that they're actually willing and able to accept what you're saying and not come off as judgmental, because a lot of times if we're not careful, we will come off as judgmental and they'll feel like we're judging, you know, what they're going through because they feel like we think we're better. So we just have to be mindful of our delivery when we are trying to, you know, just share our best practices with them. But great topic. I have enjoyed the topic. Thank you to everybody that tuned in and joined. Everybody is saying that they enjoyed the topic. It was a great topic. So hopefully we all were able to get something that we can take back, share with our nieces, nephews, and whomever. You know, it just be good and do good in the world. And hopefully they'll learn something. So make sure you share the video with your friends, your family. So hopefully anybody can, you know, just take some nuggets back, because I learned a lot listening to, you know, the conversations from those of you in the chat, from my panelists, and it was a great discussion. You know, we can all learn. We're not above learning, regardless of how old we are. We feel like, you know, we've arrived, but, you know, we still can learn some lessons in some of the things that we are seeing in, you know, these other generations, as SKR would say. So there is always an opportunity for learning, because none of us know it all. And just remember, we've all been there at some point. It may not look the same, but we've all been on a different journey to where we've been in situations that we shouldn't have been in, or situations that we stayed in longer than we should have. So thank you to each and every one of you for joining. It has been a great topic.
Ciao.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. And shout out to the replay gang that'll be pulling up to the table later. I appreciate you for being here. And to those of you that were listening in, please make sure you hit the like button for me. Please hit the like button. Feel free to drop down, leave a comment, and share the video. Please share the video. And don't forget, this coming Friday morning, 10 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, we'll be right back here with the Spilling the Business Tea, right here at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I am going to go up and say my good nights. Thank you for joining us at Pink Table Topics. I appreciate each and every one of you. To my mods, my sis, Chit Chat, Teresa, thank you all so much for modding for me. I appreciate you for being here. To each and every one of you that was in the chat, I'm scrolling up so I can work my way down and speak to everyone. I don't want to miss anybody. Good night, Tyra. Good night, sis. Thank you so much for being here. How I See It was in the house. Have a good night, sis. Thank you so much for joining. Nashonda was here. Have a good night, Nashonda. Cricket was here. Good night, AJ. Have a good night. Thank you so much for joining. Mama V, have a good night. Thank you for joining. Deborah was in the house. Have a good night, Deborah. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for joining, Sammy. Have a good night. Brittany Janae was in the house. Thanks for joining. My good sis, my diva, my degree is real was here. Have a good night. I appreciate you for being here. Sharon, I think I said you. If I didn't, have a good night, sis. Good night, good night. Good night, Tyra. Tyra was cutting up in the chat. Have a good night. I'm scrolling. Follow Me Black TV was here. Good night. Good night, Sharon. Have a good night. Rose was in the house. Have a good night, Rose. I appreciate you for being here. I'm scrolling. I don't want to miss anybody. Oh, it was a lot of comments in the chat tonight. Girlfriend Chronicles was in the house. Have a good night, girlfriend. Good night. I'm scrolling. Cece was in the house. Have a good night, Cece. Thanks for joining, sis. Have a good night, SKR. I appreciate you for being here. Good night, LaDawn. Have a good night, sis. Thanks for joining me on the panel. I appreciate you. Scrolling. I'm almost to the end, you all. I just want to say good night to everybody. Thank you for rocking with Pink Table Topics. To those of you that was listening in, thank you so much for listening in. Thank you. Reen was here. Have a good night, Reen. Thanks for joining, sis. Scrolling, y'all. I'm scrolling. Don't forget to go file y'all taxes now. You have until 12 o'clock midnight. It is 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't miss the deadline. Don't miss the deadline. I'm scrolling. I'm almost to the end, you all. Have a good night. Okay, we're at the end. Have a good night, and I will chat with you soon. Good night.